Okay, hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome to another stream from Hugo's desk. Today we have another stream of some honest showreel reviews. I would like to thank everyone that is here today. Thank you so much for taking the time this afternoon to be here with me. Like, I think this is probably going to be like the last stream we're going to do before Christmas. Maybe perhaps we'll do another one, but I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll see how it goes. But we have a really great session today. So I was kind of overwhelmed by showreels last time. So I can't thank enough for everyone that sent the showreel. Of course, I have to apologize that I didn't manage to get to all the showreels. You know, I have like 45 showreels that people have sent to that link. So I kind of like feel a bit overwhelmed, and I kind of feel that we can't do more than 3 or 4 per session. You know, I can't really do them faster, but like I said last time, my plan is to start doing this every 2 weeks. And of course that is only possible because of the amazing support BenQ has provided to supporting this stream. That's why we are able to do it. So, but yeah, we have a really fun stream today. So we have the showreel reviews. I have 4 people lined up that I've contacted that they've sent the showreels. We're also going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff on the actual showreels, and also I'm going to give you some tips and some tricks. And we're also going to have a giveaway as well. I'm giving away, as usual, my Nuke course. I'm going to give away 2 of my Nuke courses, so please stick around for that. You know, we're going to probably do one at the break, and then we'll do one at the end as well. That's at least my plan. I'm kind of waiting to see if I have my first showreel review. I've contacted him on Zoom. I'm not sure if he's online. At least he's not responding. So if he's not responding, I'm just going to skip to the second person. That's okay. But anyway, thank you so much for... Oh, Hugo has glasses, yes. Well, I've always had glasses. It's just that normally I have these ones, you know. Usually I have these ones. But this time, I don't know why. Today I put these ones in. I don't know. They're both the same. But I kind of like... Maybe I'll switch them around and confuse everyone. But I see a lot of familiar faces on the stream. Thank you so much for sticking around here. Also, if you want to check out the last stream, you know where you can find it. It's on YouTube as well. So before we even start, I'm going to just give, as usual, my typical shout-outs. You know, I'm going to share with you the link for the giveaway as well. So I'm just like going to copy-paste that into the chat. So if you want to be part of the giveaway... just like go to that link, and then you can be part of the giveaway and get the chance to win my Nuke course, which is valued at £250. So, okay, cool. So, oh yeah, okay, he is already here. So I'm gonna just ask him to wait for a second. So, wait a few minutes. I already told him that, but. People sometimes don't read. I kind of feel like that's kind of the case. So just wait a few minutes and I'll be with you in a second. Okay, let's just get into this thing here. So apologies if I'm a bit like okay, so I'm a bit lost here. Oh yeah, now I see. Okay, so as you saw in the chat, I've put the link. As you can see, I have a question here from Maddie asking, first time watching, can you explain how we can send the showreel? Of course, Maddie. We've already I'm already lined up for today, so I won't be taking any new showreels today. But Maddie, if you check my social media, I have placed the link, the Dropbox link, to drop your showreel there. It's also on the video description. So if you go to this video description, there's a link as well. I'll show you. I'll actually show you exactly what I mean. So so that you know next time if you want to join. So at any moment, if you go to my YouTube channel and you go to just, for example, let's say that we go to the live section and we go to last showreel review, which was 2 weeks ago. So if you go to this one, I'm just gonna pause this because it's gonna go a commercial. If you go here, you can see on show more, there's like a link here. As you can see here, it says here, submit your showreel to this Dropbox link. So that's the Dropbox link that you can submit your showreel. All my videos about showreel reviews will have that link. You can also find that link on the description of the video of today as well. I'm gonna post it on the chat anyway. You can drop the reel here, and I'll get to you. I mean, the way that it works is you drop the show reel here, and then you have to contact me on Discord or in social media so I can confirm that you're going to be on the showreel review, because these showreel reviews are in person. You know, I want to call you on Zoom and talk to the person in live so that it becomes almost like an interview. That's the idea behind this thing. That would be the idea. So yeah. So yeah, that's it. Okay, no problem, Maddie. Okay, so a little bit of shout outs. As I saw, I left the link for the giveaway. We already have, let's see here, 19 people already signed up for the giveaway. That's great. Also, don't forget that there's also all these links are on the description of this video. But don't forget that if you do have a monitor, a BenQ monitor, you should check out a really cool thing that they're doing. BenQ is now getting together with Pantone, and you can kind of actually get Pantone Connect for free for a year if you have a BenQ professional monitor. So if you have that monitor, you can just go into this link and then synchronize your account from BenQ into Pantone, and then you can get 1 year's worth of Pantone Connect. So check that out as well. I'll leave the link on the description as well if you want to check. The reason I'm talking about this is because, of course, they are the sponsors of this stream, BenQ, and I'm mentioning this because we couldn't really do these streams without them. That's why, you know, so I really want everyone to like thank BenQ and thank you as well, BenQ, for supporting our endeavors here. Without you, we wouldn't be able to like actually review all these things. So I'm gonna put the link here. If any of you have a BenQ monitor, you can kind of take advantage of this thing. Goes without saying, you know, go and check out BenQ's Instagram account. It's really cool. Always links up to all the stuff that is happening, all the webinars. As you can see, they have our webinar here as well. So they always have photography webinars. They have competitions. They have a bunch of like really cool photography and Photoshop-based webinars. Sometimes they have also compositing webinars and After Effects webinars. And of course, the showreel reviews, which is what you're watching right now. So check out their Instagram, you know, at AQ Color by BenQ. It's a really good Instagram, and it really gives you a lot of insight of what's going on. They also have a really good Facebook page that also promotes all of that. So it's the same name as well, AQ Color by BenQ, or BenQ Europe. You can also use that. And of course, their homepage as well. All the stuff is written there as well. Before we move on to the show first review of the day, don't forget that you to check out my YouTube channel, like Hugo's Desk. You know, feel free to subscribe if you want. I really would love if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, you know, maybe consider subscribing because I really would like to grow the channel a bit more. I'm really trying to reach 100,000K so that we can get certified and I can get a plaque and I can get more support from YouTube. And we just crossed 50,000, so I'm so happy, and I'm so delighted that we got to 50,000. I can't believe that we got to 50,000. I'm kind of stunned by that because I started the channel 7 years ago and I was not expecting to reach 50K on such a niche channel. But and yeah, and don't forget to check out our last podcast. Like, this was with Ian Fales. The last episode that we did for the VFX Notes podcast is about the film Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's a really fun film. We really enjoyed it. I think it's a huge contender for the visual effects Oscar for this year. So check it out, you know, because I think you'll be surprised at how good the film is, and you'll be surprised, you know, and you'll be surprised by the fact the film was made with only 5 people doing the VFX. So it's a film that has 500 shots and only 5 people has worked on the shots, and that is astonishing. And if they get nominated for the Oscars, that is going to be unbelievable. I don't think I've ever heard of such a thing, of having like a film that was made by 5 artists. It's insane. I can't recommend you enough to watch this podcast and also support Ian Fales as well. And yeah, last little shout outs. I have a second channel as well where I post all my old Twitch VODs. It's called Hugo's Second Desk. So maybe check out my second channel. Of course, my Twitter as well. The cool thing about my Twitter is that you can always get all the latest news of my streams, when I'm going to do them, and what kind of promotions, what kind of giveaways I'm doing, and also what kind of podcasts I'm doing. So maybe check out my Twitter as well, Hugo Sigera. And last but not least, I'm just going to do a quick shout out to Anna, my wife's YouTube channel as well. She has a wonderful channel called Green Recipes for All. For all of you that likes food and likes vegetarian or vegan food, or even to try new stuff, maybe consider supporting her channel. We really would like to grow, and we really would love to have your support. And this is, of course, if you like good food. It's not just for vegans and vegetarians. It has a lot of really good recipes for anyone, really. And they're really easy. They're really short as well, the videos. It's really easy to follow around. Okay, cool. Well, that's the shout-outs for the moment. So, again, like goes without saying, thank you so much, BenQ. You're the greatest. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do this. So, I guess let's start doing the first showreel review. Gonna call up. So first thing I'm gonna call him up and see how that goes. Let's start this up. I'm gonna call him up on Zoom. I'm just gonna see if he's here. Oops, no, don't want to record. No. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see if he's here. Yeah, he's here. Okay, so I'm gonna admit him and see if we can hear him. Let's see. So. Apologize, everyone. This is my fault. I think now people can hear you. Can you say that again?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, people can now hear you.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, man, I truly apologize to everyone. This is, I think, the first time I've had such a technical issue during a stream. So I'm sure that everyone is gonna give me some slack for that, because I don't think we usually have issues. So really apologize for that, because no one could hear you when you were talking, and that was my fault. I had the mapping of the microphones was wrong. I updated recently OBS, and for some reason it was off. I'm really sorry for that. So unfortunately, you're gonna have to start again. I'm so sorry, because no one listened to what you
Yeah,
said.
it's okay. It's okay, sir.
So
It's okay.
cool.
I will do
Everyone
it
can
again.
say
Yeah,
everyone in the chat says they can hear you now. So thank you so much for the patience, everyone on the chat. We are now back in business. So go for it. Go, my friend. Go for it.
yeah. So my name is Balkishan. I'm from India, and my city is Agra. From last 7 to 8 years, I did roto prep. I'm already in the industry, but I always to learn compositing. So my friend suggested me to start with Hugo's desk. So I started that course, and now I learning compositing. I'm improving myself. Nowadays, I'm looking for the junior compositor role, or just working to improve my work.
Okay. And so, well, first of all, thank you so much for joining my course. And I hope you're enjoying the course. I can see a lot of shots of the course here on your show reel.
Sure.
I hope you've enjoyed the course so far. And thank you so much for joining and for joining my community of students and everything. So, okay. And so you want to be a composer, but what's your plan? Like, do you want to stay in India? Do you want to go somewhere else? Do you have a company that you really wish you could work for? Or tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, first of all, actually, I want to stay in India, and I want to work more. I want to improve my work first. I want to work like 5 to 7 years to improve my work. And the company, I like to work in DNAC Technicolor. My always passionate about to work with Technicolor and DNAC.
Mm-hmm. And they have
So,
offices. They have offices nearby where you are, or they are far away, or.
uh, yes, it is nearby.
Okay, cool. So is it in the same city, or?
No, it is not in the same city. Right now, I'm in Agra, and the city Technicolor in Bangalore and Mumbai.
Okay, I see.
So
Okay,
yeah,
cool. And you would be happy to move, I guess, if you would get, or do you guys are working remotely now these days, or how is it going over there?
uh, right now I'm working remotely with a company called Pigstone. So I work as a roto artist. Like
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, I'm convincing my HR to I to move to compositing, and simultaneously I'm giving interviews and sending showreel to companies.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got a chance to relocate myself, definitely I will do that.
Okay, I see. I see. Cool. Well, let's get going with your showreel. Well, thank you so much for all your kind words, and also thank you so much for all the information and everything. Well,
Thank you, sir.
have you sent the showreel that we're watching now, and which, by the way, great work, man. You have some really good work here. Have you sent it already to other companies, or are you still finishing it? What's the state of this showreel? Is it finished?
Actually, in few companies, I already sent this showreel, but actually, still I'm working on few shots. So, still I want to improve few shots. I want to add few shots in this showreel, but already I sent some companies.
And what was the reaction? Did you had good reaction, or how is it going?
Yeah, few shots they said good, but few shots they said you have to improve something more, and so these are the reactions.
Okay, I see. Cool. Well, let's go through it together. So, okay. So first of all, starting really well. Like, you have your contact, you have your phone, you have your email. That's all good. Simple, straight, and quite to the point. So if I scrub through your show reel, I can see that you start. We'll go through shot by shot in a minute, but can see that
Yes,
you start with a shot with your phone. Is this is a personal project, and then you kind of, if I scroll through it, you have a phone tracking shot, you have a keying shot
yes,
with some compositing, and then you have also some cleanup, light cleanup, and some cleanup on this shot here. Then you have some hardcore rotoscoping over here, some tracker removal, and then you finish off with like a matte painting shot setup. So just as
yes,
an overview, we'll go through shot by shot, but as an overview, what I would say to you is that for you to become a compositor, I think you're missing a keying shot. And I know that you already have a keying shot, this one, but this is
okay,
really not a keying shot. Well, it is, but let me rephrase that. It is a keying shot, but the guy is
yeah,
bald, so he's bald. So it's a relatively easy key because he has no
yeah,
hair, and I
yes,
think
yes,
I think you should focus your attention. And we do have a few shots like that on our course, so maybe you can look for them, or maybe contact me on the Discord channel, and I can try to guide you to which shot you can use. But I feel like you should try to have a key with a shot that has a lot of complex hair, especially windy hair
yes,
or very, very rough hair, so that they can see
yes,
the quality of your keying slash rotoscoping to achieve that hair keying. That, I would say, is definitely missing on your showreel. The other thing I would
yeah,
say is that the entire showreel is quite good. It has high quality shots, and it's a good standard, but I think it all falls apart on the last shot. This last shot is not good enough compared to the other shots you have. And
yes,
we'll
yes,
we'll
definitely.
yeah, we'll go through in detail of why I say that, and I think that has a bit to do with the fact that it's not very photographic, it's not very realistic, and there are quite a lot of issues in terms of angles and lenses and all sorts of things like that. But we'll get to this shot in a second. So let's start with the first
Yes,
one. Tell me a little bit about this. So this was footage from Pexels, and so uh,
yes.
what was the experience? How do you feel about this shot? Was it difficult? How was it?
No, I downloaded this from the website. So it was not a very tough shot. It is easy shot. I just want to do some tracking shot. So I searched so many shot, but I choose this shot because I like actually that shot. So I
Yeah,
want to do some tracking shot. So I add this shot in the showreel.
yeah. I think you did a good job with the roto and the key, and especially because you don't have really tracking markers on the phone, but you do have like the corners of the phone, and it's a relatively
Yes,
easy
yes,
thing to track. I think you did a good job with putting in the screen. If anything, I feel that maybe of course this is subjective, but because it's an opinion thing, but I feel kind of like this person is on a very bright environment outside, that's what it looks like. It looks like he's outside. I don't know if she's outside. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it looks like she's outside. And
Yes,
actually, it
yes,
looks like it's a she. I'm not sure if it's a him, but maybe it's a she. I can't see her face, so I
yes,
don't know. But it kind of feels to me that if it was on such a bright environment outside, I think you would have seen more reflections on that screen. I think you
yes,
would have seen more glares and more reflections covering the screen. And I think because you already have that, which is really cool, you've done a really good job with that, but I think it just needs to be a bit more intense. And also, I think in terms of sharpness, in terms of sharp levels, when you look at the actual shot, when you look at the actual map, if you look closely, if you look at the finger and the sharpness of that finger, the type of pixel blur that you have, because obviously when you shoot something, it gets slightly soft because of the lens.
yes, sure.
And
Yes, yes,
then
yes,
once it's uploaded to pixels, it gets even softer because they usually upload it as an H.264 or a compressed file. So as right now, the blur and softness level of the hand and the phone are not matching the map. The map is too sharp. So you need to like soften or slightly blur the focus that map. And probably the best
yes,
way would not be a blur. It will probably be a defocus node. It just needs to be a little tiny thing. It's probably like 1 or 2 or maybe even 1.5. It's very little the defocus that you have to put. But just zoom in maybe like 100, 200% or something and just try to
yes,
find a way to match the pixel sharpness to that finger. That would be what I would say. But
yes, yes.
but in terms of tracking and everything, it's not a hard shot, but it's well done. I think you did a good job. So
Yeah, yeah,
now
okay.
going to the second shot here. So this second shot, I think you did a good job of the shot. If anything, I kind of feel that maybe you went a little bit too far with the edge blur. I feel like around his head and around his ears and also maybe around a little bit of the hat on the table. I think you went a bit too far with edge blurring. Maybe you need to make this edge a bit sharper. The reason I'm saying this is because if you look at the CG and if you look at the curtain behind him, the curtain is
Yeah,
really sharp and the CG is really sharp,
yes,
and then he is slightly blurred, and that's because he has a tiny bit of defocusing going on here. The depth of field on this shot is a little bit extreme because I think when we shot it, at f2 or something. So I think you have to make a decision here. Either you
yes,
blur more the background behind him, you blur that more so that you get the curtain more blurred and you get the CG wall more blurred and the seat a little bit more blurred, or you need to sharpen that edge. You need to choose so that they both match, you know. So
yeah,
I think that would be what I would say, you know. Yeah.
yeah,
Regarding the rest, I think you did a good job. I think it's well done. I like your transition. I also think that you did a good job with the reflection that you've added to the glass as well. I think you did a good job, and the shot overall is cool. I think it did a really good job. So maybe consider
yeah,
that what I'm saying, like, because if you look at him, the original plate, you see that roughly we have a little bit of focus going on here on the chest and mouth area. The hand is out of focus and the shoulder is slightly out of focus. So it's almost like the focusing is very, very narrow, you know. So be aware, that you need to like do that on the background as well.
yes, yes, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, but don't think too much about what I'm saying. Like, it's just my opinion, and of course, like, just trying to help. But I obviously like don't be dissuaded by my comments. You know, I think you did a great job. I'm really like just talking about small details, which a lot of times depending on the project, people might not even say
Yeah,
anything. You know, because if this was a rushed commercial or something, probably this would be good enough. But if it was a film, it wouldn't be good enough. It would have to be better, you know. So
yeah, yeah, definitely, sir.
let's see here. So then this shot here. So I think you did a great job on this shot. I personally don't really see any issues. I think, I think you did a good job with the roto of his face. Did a good job with the hair. If anything, maybe you've lost a little bit too much detail on the hair when he's in front of that shirt. Maybe try to just recover a little bit of that hair detail. But
Yes,
this is very, very subtle. I think it's very well done. You've also did a nice job with the compositing of him and also removal of the reflection on the table as well. I think you did a good job, and also recovering a bit of his shadow as well. That's also well done. So yeah, I think overall, I think this is a very strong shot. I think you did a good job. It's just that hair. I think this little lock of
Yes.
hair on front of this dude it just needs a bit more soft. It needs a bit like a slightly softer key so that you can kind of see it a bit better.
Yeah.
So then this shot here, I can see that this is quite well accomplished key. I don't get to see it that much. I think if anything, I can always of course scroll down and scroll again, but I feel like you probably should leave it a little bit longer so that people can see the roto a little bit longer. I
Yeah.
probably wish that you would loop the shot at least once so that we can see the roto a little bit better. But I think you did a good job, because especially I would like to know what's going on when the wind and the motion blur is happening here. How does that look on the roto? Because at the moment when you swap to the roto, we
Yeah.
don't see that anymore, and then you never show that part of the shot. So I feel like you need to show the entire shot as a roto once at least, so
Yeah.
we can see all the details of the hair, all the details that are going on there.
Actually, this shot is too long, and I thought to not to increase the length of the showreel, I just do it minimize as much as possible.
Yeah, yeah,
So
of course. No, of course.
that's why. Yeah.
I understand, but your show reel is only a minute and 10, so I think you can
Yeah.
definitely have a few
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
seconds.
Definitely.
I think you can keep it exactly as it is. I just would like to see the entire roto of that shot so that you just don't, because you spend a long time showing just the plate, and then you spend a long time just showing the red mask version, and I would just like to see the rest. But I think it's well accomplished, and if anything, if you would like to also showcase your if you really want to showcase your quality in terms of roto, the best trick
Yeah.
to do that is to actually show the shapes. To actually
Okay.
show
Okay.
the shapes that you have inside of Nuke.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, because then we can kind of judge how good your shapes are and how good you are breaking down this roto.
Yeah.
Because
Actually,
yeah.
yeah. Actually, first when I made this shot, I did roto for this shot, and my plan is just to do some compositing with this shot. My plan is just to add
Cool.
something in background. Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
but
Yeah,
actually,
that's
yeah,
awesome. You should definitely do
yeah.
that. That's exactly what you should do. That's good. That's good. Go for it.
Yes, yes.
Because
I will
the
do that. Definitely, I will do
yeah,
that. I will make yeah.
yeah. If your roto is done already, go for it. That's the thing. Okay, so then you have the baby teeth short film thing. Yeah, very good removal of the dots. I mean, I don't really see any issues there. At least it's quite compressed, the show reel. I don't think there's any issues. It's always hard to tell because I'm watching like a compressed video, but I think you did a really good job. I don't really see any issues. I think this one is
Right,
good.
right.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. so
Yes,
we
seriously, yes.
so we were all going so well. So this shot. So here's my point of view on this shot. I know what you're trying to do, and I really think it's a good idea that you're trying to do a more complex shot with matte painting, and I like that, and I think it's a good idea to do that. But if you're gonna venture into a shot like this, you really need to make it a bit more photographic. And what I mean with that, and I know you're using photos, but what I mean with that is
Yeah,
that it has to have more bases into real photography. So I'll give you just a couple of the issues. There's quite a lot, but a couple of the
yeah,
issues. First issue
yeah.
comes right away. The first one is, for example, this woman that is here. This woman is clearly filmed with a different lens. And we know that because we can see that her perspective is very wide. It looks to me like she was shot with a wide lens, and she's been shrinked to fit onto this matte painting.
Yes.
And so when you do those kind of things, it's a problem. Because the
Okay.
lens will not match the shot itself. So this is why, for example, in production, on a film, if they were going to put a woman sitting there sitting there on the rock on a shot like this on a film, what they would have done is they would either shot her in distance with the correct perspective, or they would have shot her with a longer lens. So, for example, imagine filming her with a 50 millimeter or a 70 millimeter or an 80 millimeter, so that she would look flatter, so that her perspective would not look as wide. So this would be what it would happen. You know, that would be the solution to fix this problem for her. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is the different sharp levels that you have on the shot. So just look here where this rock, you know, and I'm just gonna, I think it doesn't matter in which part of the shot I look. Yeah. So look at this rock. This rock is super sharp. And then this rock, this landscape here is also super sharp. But then the mountains on the back are super blurred. But then the sky is slightly less blurred. And then this rock, these mountains are really blurred. But then these ones are really sharp. But then you have blurred rocks in front of the sharp rod. So you have inconsistency in sharpening here. And this is to do with the fact that you're picking, I think, too many photos that are different. And again, the same way that she has a different lens, all these photos are from different lenses as well. And the trick here for you is you either need to pick photos that would be closer together in terms of what lens was used. They have to be similar, more similar to each other. Or you need to focus in one photo and then augment that photo. Because at the moment, it looks to me like you've mixed too many photos. I don't know how many photos you used, but it kind of feels like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 photos.
Yes, I have downloaded 6 to 7. Yes, right, exactly.
So it's not like I did a lucky guess. You can see that there's 6 of them. And the trick of being a compositor is for you to fool everyone, right? So the idea here is that you want to make a job so well made that no one will ever know that you even were there. So it's almost like you want to make a matte painting where they look at it and think, oh, this is just a photo. And they don't even disregard. And then when you see the breakdown, then they see like, oh my God, this is not a photo. It's actually a CG shot. That's the trick of matte painting. You have to make it in a way that no one will ever notice that you've made anything. And if you look at films, especially films that have a lot of invisible visual effects, I'll give you a great example of that. Have you seen the latest Top Gun Maverick, for example? Have you seen the last Top Gun film?
No.
Okay, well, that's fine. So tell me one of the last big films that you've seen, for example. Tell me, like, comes to mind? What are you thinking?
I watched last time that Bollywood movies RRR.
Okay, cool.
So
yeah, that's a great example. That's a great example. So, for example, on that film, when Beam, for example, is being, sorry for the French, being whipped on public square, you know, when he's like being tortured on public square, the entire background is a matte painting. The entire background on the back, they have like a few rows of people, and then the entire thousands of people that are behind him watching him being tortured, and then all the buildings behind, and then the sky and the mountains, not the mountains, sorry, the back buildings, they're all matte painting / 3D / augmented, and you don't even notice it you don't even notice it until you see the breakdown. You don't notice it because it is so well merged photographically, because it's matching what was photographed. It's matching the lens. It's matching the compositing. So that's the compositing is done in such a way that you don't really think about it when you're watching that scene, and you just look at him being tortured, and you see him singing, and that's what you're focusing on. And so that is an example of where you want to be with this. So I would advise you to try to strip this down, and instead of using 6 photos, start with 1 photo, and if you can accomplish putting a second photo, that is a win. So if you can accomplish to comp 2 things together already, that's going to be a great achievement. And then if you're happy with the 2, then maybe try to put a third one, but don't try to put too much, because then you can kind of see it. So that's problem number 2. Then I'm going to give you a problem number 3, which doesn't have to do with the lenses and and the perspective shifts and sharpened shifts that you have here, you also have a major problem in black levels. So look at here
Yeah.
how this shadow is sharp, sharp black. It's almost like it's 12 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and the sun is hitting super sharp with black shadows. Her shadow is also pure black. But then the woman is actually soft. She doesn't have a sharp shadow. So you see her shadow is actually gray, not even black. But then the
Yeah.
mountain on the front is quite hazy. It almost looks like it has an atmospheric feeling to it. And then this road on the front is again very sharp and dark with very dark black levels. And then on the back,
Yes.
the black levels are again hazy. So you have inconsistency with black levels and white levels as well. So, and then to make matters worse, you have a sunset. So if you had a sunset on a shot like this, I tell you what, you just go
Yeah.
outside and get your phone and photograph the next sunset. And you'll see what will happen is that the camera will struggle to try to expose to that sunset. So it's almost
Yes.
like
Yes. Definitely.
if you expose to this sunset, you'll get everything dark. And if you try to get all of this bright, then you will overexpose the sky. So you can't have both. You can't have a very toned down sky like this, very moody sunset, but then have a very bright and sunny environment. You either have to pick to dark the environment or you have to bright the sky. So you can't have both. And so again, they're not connected in terms of black levels, white levels, and exposure levels as well.
Yeah.
So my advice to you would be to please remove this shot for your showreel, because this shot
Yes.
is going to make everyone watching a showreel kind of like lose their confidence, because every other shot you have looks great. And so they're going to
Yes.
look at this and going to think, oh, wow, this guy's good. Like, he does really good work. And then it all falls apart in the last shot. And I don't think you'll recover. I think because they'll look at this shot and they'll think that you don't know what you're doing. I really would advise you to remove it. And I'm so sorry I'm being so harsh, but it's just that.
No, no, actually, it happened actually with me last time. I interviewed with the company, and they saw my showreel. They was very happy to see all shots, but when they went last shot, they were very disappointed. And that time I thought to remove the shot, but yes, I will do that. Definitely, I will remove and I
Yeah.
will improve
Yeah,
10 more shots. Yes.
and I'll give you even a fourth problem you have. And this is a
Yeah.
problem you see when you play it back. See this smoke layer that you have on top. The smoke layer you have on top, the scale is wrong, because this smoke layer, this stock footage that you're using, the scale is really small, so
Yes.
it's
Yes. Yes.
almost it's
Yes.
filmed very close. But this is a huge environment, so the smoke would be very tiny. It wouldn't be so big. So I would recommend you to remove that altogether. So
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
think you need to go to the back to the drawing board with this one. And I think what you should do is you should try to just start with 2 images. Try to see if you can find both of them to be similar already, and then you can start building on that. That would be
Yes.
my advice to
Sure.
you. Yeah.
Yes. Definitely, I'll do that.
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen here for a second. Anyway, I don't think you should. I don't think you should. Like, you shouldn't really be too harsh on yourself. I'm gonna just like just gonna put back I need to like sorry. Just like gonna put you back so that people can see you. I'm gonna close your show reel here. So yeah. So again, thank you so much for sharing the show reel with me, and thank you so
Yeah.
much for doing the course as well, and thank you so much for
Yes.
actually.
Thank you so much, sir. It's actually a very big thing for me. You are reviewing my showreel, so I'm
Yeah.
very grateful. Thank you so much.
No, not a problem. Not a problem at all. And I hope you can come back to the stream as
Yes.
well, and
Yes.
maybe have
Yes.
that. Maybe bring just that shot. I don't need to see the rest. I think, and also consider what I said about having a shot with keying, difficult keying. Try to get like something
Yes.
that has really complex hair and it's like really tricky. And I would advise you to try to do that. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Definitely, I'll do that, sir.
Cool. Cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much again for joining, and yeah, and I'll
Yeah.
see you very soon then. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Bye. Okay, cool. Well, thank you so much. That was great, Balkishan. That was great. I really liked your show reel. I think you did a great job. And that is the last. That is the first show reel of the day. We're gonna do a break now. And then again, I apologize for all the technical issues. I'm so sorry about that. Like we don't often have technical issues, but on the show, but we did this time. But it's okay. Sometimes it happens, you know. It happens to the best, I guess. I'm gonna give the link to the next showreel review that we're gonna do, and so we'll do a break now. When we come back after the break, we're gonna do the first giveaway of the day, and then we'll move on to the next showreel review. And as always, you know, like, thank you so much for sticking around, and thank you so much for watching. And I'll be with you very shortly. We'll do as usual, we'll do a 10-minute break. Don't forget to go and stretch your legs. Don't forget to go and drink some water. We've been on for an hour. You know, it's time for you to kind of get some blood flowing in your legs again. So I'll leave you with a word from our sponsor as well. So I'll leave you with a word from BenQ, and I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Okay, I'll see you all very soon. See you soon. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about the slight delay. I think I'm like 2 minutes late. So sorry. I just came down. I went downstairs to get a coffee, and and of course Brazil scored, and we was just like checking the goal that they were playing, which was cool. So okay, so let's see here. So we have quite a few people here commenting. Let me just like go through that. So welcome. If you just joined the stream, welcome, welcome. We already did one show reel review. We're doing now the second one. I'm gonna call you soon, Eugene, to do the show reel review. In the meantime, I have like, don't forget, if you have some questions, you can always post them on the chat. But make sure you post them on the chat during the breaks. So if you have questions, just make them now, ask them now, because we're gonna be like, now gonna do the first giveaway, and then after the giveaway, we'll go back to the show review. So if you do have questions now, go for it. Just go wild. Put it on the chat. So, and if you want to join the giveaway, here's the last chance for you to do that. I'm gonna do one giveaway now, and then we'll do the other one on the end. And again, for those of you that were here with me, I do apologize for all the technical issues we had today. We normally don't have technical issues, but sometimes it happens. I had a few issues, but I think we're good now. I need to kind of fix a few things. I'm getting really, really upset with OBS. OBS is like it's like a bit tricky. Sometimes it's not good enough, but I guess I can't blame them. It's open source, so what are you gonna do? Okay, so Kev3D is asking, can I share a YouTube link for my showreel? No, it doesn't really work that way. We have a submission link. You can find the submission link on the chat. I'll post it in anyway for you to check. So we have a submission link that you can share. Please, of course, understand that it's first come, first serve. So it's not like we already have 30 people right now, so I'm doing like maybe 3-4 stream. I'm doing it twice a week. I'm gonna try my best to do as many people as possible, but please understand that it does take some time to get to you. But yeah, KV3D, if you want to submit your showreel, just use that link over there. That's the Dropbox link that we use to drop the stuff. And then after that, you just need to contact me on Discord so that you can confirm your presence. Yeah. Oh, you're the one that did the link. Okay. So here's the thing. I don't really accept links. You need to upload the showreel because I need to scrub through it, and I'm not gonna do that on YouTube. So I noticed that someone left a text file there. That is not the submission. If you read the submission details. The submission details stipulate that you have to, like, if you read the link on Dropbox, submit your showreel shot portfolio at this link. Please don't forget to add your name to the file. You can upload H.264, H.265, ProRes for videos, or JPEGs for stills. So don't upload text or links because I'm gonna ignore them because I need to have the file, and I apologize for that, but I just need to have the file so I can scrub through it, and so that I can go frame by frame. That's why. So that would be my answer to you about that. Okay, so anyone here asking any questions? Let's see here. A lot of people asking about my new course. Yeah, of course, my new course is available. You can just go to YouTube. The video is there on YouTube for you, and all the links and all the PayPal links is on the description if you want to. Is there any other questions? Silver Bulletin, I like your name. Silver Bulletin is asking, will a 7900 XTX will be acceptable for 3D? I think so. I don't believe... The thing with this is with technology, with graphic cards and computers, it's not about the graphic card, it's not about the computer, it's more about what you do with it. So I would always think that, regardless of what card you have, regardless of what machine you have, if you wait long enough, you'll be able to do it. So I don't believe it's that important. It's more important for you to have core skills and to actually do what you have, because a lot of times people be surprised when I say this to people. Like, a lot of times you go to a company and they do not have the latest equipment. If you go to a company, they might have a 7-year-old workstation. They might have a 5-year-old workstation. And then they won't have like a fancy NVIDIA card. They might just have a Quadro 4000 or a Quadro 5000. It might not even be the equipment that you're looking for. So many times I've been to companies and I got there and they have 32 gigs of RAM, or they have 24 gigs of RAM, or they have 16 gigs of RAM. A lot of times, like, the equipment is going to be lower than you expect. And I think we all need to... I'm not saying that's you, and I'm not saying it's you. Like, what I'm saying is, like, I think we all collectively should kind of like start thinking so much about equipment. The equipment doesn't matter. What matters is your knowledge. What matters is your artistry. That's what matters. It doesn't matter what equipment you use. Man, I've seen people do an amazing job with a crappy laptop. Man, I have an animator that usually works with me. He was animating these amazing animations for cinematics, and he was using this like 10-year-old laptop from Lavelle or something. It was a crappy laptop, and he still did a job. So I don't think it matters. Obviously it helps. It helps to have better graphic cards, of course. And right now, I'll be honest, an NVIDIA card is probably a better proposition because in reality, NVIDIA has a bit better support for CUDA. It has a better support for ray tracing. It's a bit more powerful right now, but those will change as well. AMD sometimes is on top, sometimes NVIDIA is on top, and I think that kind of like hardware war, it's not interesting, and on the industry, most people don't care. When you get to a company, you'll just have to work with whatever they have there, and that's the fact of life. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so let's do the giveaway, the first giveaway. I already dropped the link on the chat, so let's do the first giveaway and see who's gonna win the Nuke course. So this is my Nuke course. As you know, I have a complete Nuke course with 150 classes. And let's see who wins. Let's go for this. I'm gonna draw the first winner. Remember, you have to be here for win it. I hope you're here. Let's see who wins my Nuke course. I'm drawing the thing now. Drawing right now. We'll see what happens. Oh, it's taking a bit of time. But yeah, no worries, no worries. Yeah, you see, friend Yoshi is having a good point there. He says, Yoshi is saying apps are generally more optimized for CUDA. So yeah, it is a bit like that. NVIDIA usually tends to have an upper hand on that. So yeah, I would say that it's definitely true. Okay, I'm having some kind of issue with the winner here. Why is it not drawing it? Sorry, apologies. It's for some reason not doing it. I'm just waiting for it to draw it. But it's taking its sweet time. Maybe I'm doing it, but it just says 10%. It doesn't do anything. It just like waits here. Not sure why. I'm gonna refresh this page because there's definitely. Oh, okay. Now it worked. Okay, that's weird. That's really weird. Why did it? Okay. Sorry. I'm just like trying to understand. Things are not going well, are they? I don't really understand what's going on here. Well, anyway, let's see if we can get this thing going. So, okay, so the winner of the first Nuke course is Vinay Vinu. Vinay Vinu. That's the first winner. I hope you're here. I really hope you're here. Remember, you have to be here to win it. Are you here? Please say hello. Please say something on the chat, so that I can kind of check if you're here. Let's see here. I hope I'm not butchering your name. So Vinay Vinu. Oh yeah, here you are. Cool. Excellent. Congratulations. Congratulations for winning the Nuke course. I guess my first question was going to be like, are you interested on winning the course? Do you want the course? Or are you not interested? You let me know. Congratulations. Congratulations for winning the course. Cool. Okay, so let's get back to the matter of hand, which is the showreel review. Let's get back to that. So we'll have the second one. He's been waiting for a while now, so I'm gonna call him up. So I'm gonna copy the invitation for him, for Eugene here, UG04. Here's the invite, and I'm gonna call him up and see how this goes. Okay, so
recording in progress. Recording stopped.
Okay, so I'm starting my video. Not starting my video. Yeah, I'll see if he shows up. So that we can do this together. So, are you here? Are you here? I'm going to tell him to join now. You can join now. Okay, let's see here. Just waiting for him to pop in. Didn't realize I need to update Zoom. Yeah, well, usually Zoom gets updating all the time. It's like really annoying. Oh man, it's really annoying. I'm sorry about that. That's often the case. Always updating. We live in updating right now. Talking of updating, you guys notice like the latest Nuke 14 is great. I'm really enjoying it. Like it's 3D system is looking good. A lot of things going really well there. I think Foundry is finally getting into grasps of making a really good update to Nuke. I can't wait for people to try it. Yeah, I know you're here. Congratulations, man. So, UG04, are you joining anytime soon, or how's that going? Are you joining soon? Because if not, I'll move around to the next artist. You joining soon? Can you join? Oh, you're installing. Okay. Oh, yeah. Your name in YouTube is 1.21 gigawatt productions. I like that. That's awesome. That is an awesome name. Well, while we're waiting for you to drop by, I'm going to share my screen so that people can see. I'm gonna share. Let's see here. I'm gonna share. No, that's not it. That's the one. Okay. I'm going to share my screen here so you guys can see it. Something went wrong there. The chat is like somehow like merged there. That's a bit weird. Not really sure what's going on there, why the chat is there. There's always something wrong, is there? There's always something wrong. It's not going well today, man. I'm sorry. Like, this is not going well today. Why is this going on? Oh my God. Why? I think I know why. Wait a minute. I think it's because it has to be this one. Yeah, I think that's why. This is why. Yes, now I see it. Okay, cool. I think now it's gonna work. Okay. So you're still updating stuff? This is very anticlimactic. You're just updating stuff. Very anticlimactic. Oh man, I guess to all of you watching the stream, next time you want to join, don't forget to update Zoom. Does anyone ever have questions as well? I think they're listening to you. Hope they will. Neko Chan says, I think they're listening to you. I hope they will make the 3D system way better. Yeah, I think they are listening. I think, you know. I do think so. I actually see that they are, not just me, but everyone. There's so many people really telling them that they have to be better with the 3D system. I think they've noticed and they've understood this now. I really do. I really think they fully understood that. You know, so yeah. Neko is also saying that Mac Pro desktop uses AMD Radeon Pro. Yeah, they do. Like, that's what I use. I have AMD cards on my Mac Pro. I really like it. Like, they're really good. I have dual GPU. I have 2 graphic cards. Oh man, I hope you come in soon. It's almost ready. Okay, still updating. Damn, that's a slow update for Zoom. Are you coming in soon? Oh man, today is the day of problems, isn't it? That's what I'm feeling. We have like several problems today. This is like apologies for the lack of technical prowess of the stream today. It's a as you all know, that's what it is. It's a garbage truck on fire. That's what we're running here at Hugo's desk. Okay, so is he? It's stuck. Okay, so maybe kill Zoom and open again, right? No. I'll wait for a few more seconds. So just basically crash Zoom or close Zoom and then open it again. I'm sure you'll be fine if you do that. Yeah, some days are bad. I definitely think some days are bad days. That happens all the time. Yeah, that's fine. I can wait a little bit longer. I'll tell you what. I'll do another giveaway while we're waiting. Okay, that sounds good? I'll do another giveaway. So I'm gonna do another giveaway while we're waiting for Eugene to come in while he's updating. So I'll do another giveaway and then I'll do a third giveaway later on. So oh no, he's here. Well, I'll do another giveaway later. So he's here now. I'm gonna admit him in. Okay, cool. I'll do the giveaway in a second after we do the review. Okay, let's see if he shows up. I think he's gonna show up now any minute. Can you hear me? At least I see you here. Ah, here you go. We can hear something. Yay! Amazing. Can you say something? See if we can hear you. I think you're muted. Almost there. Almost there. It's just people can see you at least. You can hear me. Okay, cool. That's good. Yeah, it shows that you're not muted over here. And I did hear interference for a while. Maybe
No?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Cool. Excellent.
Okay, great. There's a button on the headphones.
We can hear you perfectly. Thank you so much for joining.
Great. Thank you for doing this.
No, not a problem, man. Not a problem. Okay, so first off, like, thank you so much for joining today's stream. And I guess let's start with that. Do you want to, only if you want to, of course, but do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been an online editor for a number of years and got laid off during the pandemic. So I started picking up Blender, and I was already using Nuke, but not that, only for basic stuff like logo removal.
Okay. I'm so sorry to hear that you lost your job during the pandemic. That's not cool, man. I'm sorry to hear that. But are you working now? Like, is everything now good?
I'm freelance. I'm all freelance. But I have been applying for full-time gigs, but I can't say they've been going fantastic. So, I bought your course. I'm trying to, and I've been watching a lot of your videos actually about like the 3D system in Nuke, because I haven't been using that too much, and on all your different like multi-pass projects. And I was and just trying to learn about like workflow, and because a lot of the basic stuff I was doing was just painting and really basic stuff for my onlines. But I've been working freelance and I'm just trying to advance as fast as possible and trying to do as much as possible. So that's where I'm at.
I see, man. I see. That's cool. And so, well, first of all, thank you so much for buying my course. That's the first thing. And thank you so much for buying my course, and thanks so much for joining the course and actually being part of that community. And
sure.
If you and remember, like, if you ever need anything, just like message me on. I tend to be every day on Discord. Obviously, keep in mind that I have about 1,000 students, so it takes me a little time sometimes to go through everyone, but I do get to everyone. Like, if everyone kind of asks, like, I do reply to everyone. Sometimes it takes me hours, but I do. But I try my best to reply to everyone. So people are already watching your showreel, by the way. So I know that you. So here's the thing: we had a technical problem earlier, and unfortunately, I can't share my screen to you. So you'll be, but you know your showreel. So I guess
I got your YouTube, like YouTube's up. I can see you playing it.
But it's like a bit delayed, of course. But
right.
But it's gonna be quite delayed. I think it's gonna be like 30 seconds delayed. But you know your showreel anyway, so we can go through it anyway. It doesn't matter, I think. But yeah, I need to like sort out how, because at the moment right now the issue I have is like, if I want to share my screen to you, then people don't see me, they see my screen as well. So they stop seeing a webcam. So I need to kind of rewire and rejig some stuff here on my side. That's why we had a technical issue. So but yeah, people are already watching a showreel. You have a lot of production stuff here, man. So tell us a little bit about this. Like, is this showreel like something you've been doing for a long time? Is this like a collection of work you've done over years? Like, what's going on here? Like, it's really cool.
Some of it is like just the basic phone replacements and the taxi cab. That's from previous work when I was an online editor. And then there's a mix of stuff that I've just done on my own, like the people in the parking lot, the guy smashing the football.
Okay, cool.
There's a lot of it that's just, I just did on my own, just for experiments, and stuff in the subway, the movie theater. That's all just me experimenting with Blender during the pandemic. And then there's the stuff at the very beginning is actually just stuff that actually went to air. A friend, he's owns a company, and he threw me some work last year because he was just so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So that's what starts off the show reel.
You have some really good work here. You can see people saying that on the chat as well. So congratulations.
Oh,
You
cool.
have some
Thank
really
you. Thanks.
Yeah, you see here like Frey and Carlo and like and I can't pronounce the other name. I don't know what that is, but some people are really enjoying your showreel. So congratulations, man! It's a good showreel.
Thanks.
Cool. Well, let's go through it a little bit and just I would love to know a little bit more about what's going on here. So. What's going on the first shot? So the first shot here with this dude with the really colorful clothing, and then the girl on the side. So what's going on here?
So in the background, there were zombies. Like they're supposed to be pounding on the glass, but they were just kind of like laying there. And so my friend just wanted me to. He actually had footage. He wanted me to put some people back there and comp it in, but I ended up actually just using Blender and Mixamo and finding some zombie animations and just created like a silhouette and then rotoed them all out and then add the zombies in the background using the silhouette.
It's really cool.
So
Did they had something there on set? Because there's like already someone static on the window.
Yeah, and they should have been pounding on the window.
Oh, I see. So the actors didn't do their job, I guess.
Probably. Well, not in the take that. Yeah, obviously they like the actors' take here. But the people were just unfortunately just doing nothing at the door. So I had to take them out and then put somebody more active in.
I see. Let me just like do one thing here because I need to like swap the screen here. Sorry about that. Where is it? Yeah, no, that's good. Okay, cool. Yeah, so yeah, cool. Well, that's a really simple shot, of course. I mean, is there like I guess. You have a lot of really fancy shots in your showreel, so the first thing I would say to you is like it does look to me like you probably could start with something else because you have some more fancy shots in your showreel than this one. And
okay.
Reason I'm saying that is really would be because first impressions is everything on these kind of things, and people like unfortunately some supervisors or even some recruitment people, they just skip showreels if they're not interested, and I think you have other more interesting stuff going on here. So maybe consider that because I definitely think even the second shot is more. Even this shot here is more interesting with the park, with the people floating in the park, and there's quite a few other shots. But we'll go through them, and then maybe after we go through them, we can talk about some of the order and some of that. So on the second shot here, tell us a little bit about what's going on the second shot. You have wait a minute, my computer is freezing. Tell us a little bit about what's going on the second shot. You have this woman being, I guess, it's a zombie woman being like hurled away by a military person or something.
Right. So I just had to add all the plants and the damage on the ground.
Cool. And what is this? Is this also Blender that you've done, or is it like pieces from other people?
I actually used the motion the 3D tracker in Blender, and then just exported passes that I comped in Nuke.
Cool. It's really well done. I think you did a great job. You did a great job with the depth of field as well. It's quite well merged onto the background. I think black levels are also good as well. You even put some below the truck as well, which I like. I like that little detail that you've done there. And you have something in the foreground. It's always really good to put stuff on the foreground because it just helps. It helps with like the composition. It helps to sell believability. So I like that you've done that. Is this the same film from the last shot? Same film. Same show. Okay, cool. Has this been aired already? Has this been? Like...
Yeah, it aired last year.
Cool, man. Sounds good. That's not. I'm just like going through it. Yeah, cool. Okay, and then the second, I like that thing, undead control. and then the first shot, we have these people hanging on the park. Quite an extensive removal and wire painting removal thing that you've done here. Is this the same show or is it something else?
Same show.
Ah, cool. And so this is really, really hard work here, man. Like, tell us a little bit about this shot. Like, how is this going?
This is just a lot of cloning on the trees, and then a lot of like tracking and paint. A lot of tracking on the people, little pieces of them. Literally just taking lots of little stills and tracking them all over, and maybe a little bit smart vectors occasionally because I try to use that, but I can only use it in some very small places.
Yeah, I think you did a great job. I mean, if anything, the only thing I would say is that, and this, of course, is not a problem. There are of course, some changes to the backplate, but I don't think it's a problem, you know, like, because you had to patch certain things that weren't there. So obviously, sometimes it's tricky because sometimes some directors get quite obsessed with the original plate, and then you kind of they kind of force people to kind of really match it completely.
Right.
But I think you did a great job. And then I mean, I have no issues with anything else. I think you did a great job with the wire removal and actually the removal of the stretching of the clothing as well. I think you did a good job there. If anything, and this is hard to tell looking at this compressed QuickTime, but it does look to me like certain parts of the background seem a little bit soft. Maybe perhaps they lost some of their resolution when you were painting or something like that.
I probably didn't have a sharp, like I probably had like a opacity on the clone probably. But there is like this doesn't look like the final shot actually in the show. They added actually more was added to this shot.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of it obscures the background, so it's like a big glow effect, and you don't even see the background in the final show.
Okay, I see. That's not really like you don't even see the back.
Well, you see it, but like it's really like that softness. I wish I had the final, but in the show, it's actually a little bit. It's like my friend who hired me, he ended up like doing more to the shot. He just needed me to clean it up so he could work on it some more.
It's always like so frustrating when you're doing something and you do so much work and then suddenly it's not really used or something, or like,
right,
oh man,
right.
It sucks sometimes, man. I kind of feel like sometimes it's a bit frustrating, but you know, but it's what it is. Happens all the time. In fact, like sometimes I even get shots that completely get removed from shows. Like like you work really hard on something and then it just gets vanished or doesn't get used or something. That's even more frustrating. But yeah, but no, this is really good work, man. It's top notch work. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thanks.
And then we have the fix to the mustache. I like that. I love this shot. So what is this? Is this also a show or is it a documentary? What is going on here?
That's the same show.
Cool.
And the director just didn't like the way the mustache. He wanted it to look really neat and clean.
Yeah. Well,
so
that's usually how he has his mustache.
Yeah.
Very clean. But I'm surprised that he actually went on set so not cleaned up. But
yeah, I'm not sure. But so this was like a lot of smart vectors.
Yeah.
Like smart vector dissolving into smart vector dissolving into smart vector.
That's really cool, man. Like that's really good work for that on that side. So how long have you been using Nuke? Like you said, you were an editor before. How long have you been using it?
Well, I used to use Shake.
Oh, okay.
On all my work, and then the company I worked for wouldn't buy Nuke. So I was doing stuff in After Effects for a while, and then I just then once Nuke Indie came out during the pandemic, I just got it.
Yeah.
So I had been doing plenty of work with After Effects and Shake
before. Yeah.
Before, and I'm just like, I got to get into Nuke. And so when Nuke Indie came out, it was like, oh, I can afford this. This is great.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's a great package. And also, like, I don't know if you saw the news, but from January, Nuke Indie is going to actually is going to have PG Bokeh included into it. And PG Bokeh is by far the best depth of field tool that exists in the market. It's going to be part of it. I don't, it's not clear what happened. I think they might have bought it. I don't know if they bought it or if it's just a partnership. But it's going to be cool to finally not use the ZD Focus node because the Z Focus node sucks. It's not a really good node. Okay. But yeah, cool, man. Very good work. And so tell me a little bit about this New York shot. This looks great as well. What is this about? Is it the same show as well?
Same show. That's the last shot of the show. It was just oh, well, it's the last shot of the show in the reel.
Okay, cool.
But so that was just a shot of like Times Square, and there's people there, and so it just had to make it look like, you know, the end of the world.
But you don't have a breakdown for it. So what exactly did you do on
it? I'll have to render it out.
It looks really good. It looks so good that I'm kind of trying to understand what you did. I'm assuming it's all the grass and all the bottom area.
Yeah.
It's very well integrated. What else did you do? Did they provide you a plate of New York already, and then you had
it was stock footage.
Okay.
It was like stock from like Getty or something, and then set to paint a couple people out, and then I did a 3D track in Blender, and then I added
Cool.
the road and all these objects in Blender, and I did like several depth plants, and then I comped them all together in Nuke, where there's some plants in the distant background, there's plants behind the, the gear on the right there, and so just to get the different levels of depth.
Cool.
But yeah, yeah, that's a good idea. I should break that one down.
You should, because it looks great, and it's gonna be better for people to know what you've done on it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna ask you one thing. Like on the right side, you have this kind of like block, this cement block,
Yeah.
the road block. Is that from the plate or is that from CG?
That's from Megascans.
Okay, because
So I have an account of Megascans.
okay, because that's the only thing that kind of like looked wrong to me, which was like there's something just fishy about the way the light is hitting this surface and this material, and the way the light is hitting the materials and surfaces of the things around it. I just don't completely buy this, and I'm not really entirely sure what you can do to that, because I know you have like this, the sun is coming through the window, through the buildings, of course, and it's only revealing certain parts of the street. That's correct, but I kind of feel like there's something strange on the way that the sun is hitting this. Is that, do you know what that could be, or is it just because it's just an awkward part of the sun or something? I don't know.
I don't know. You think like I need more shadow on the ground where the plants meet it, maybe?
Maybe that, and also I think it's really diffuse, the material.
Oh.
It's almost like it doesn't look like it has any specularity to it whatsoever.
Oh yeah.
Because the things behind it, like the construction site, the metals and everything, they are quite pingy because of the sun hitting them. And I don't know, man. I feel like it needs something there, but I think that's the only thing. I think the rest looks really good. I mean, obviously, the grass is looking very well integrated. I think you did a great job. Did you also do stuff to the buildings as well, or?
That's again my friend. He did all that. So he added this like the building stuff. I just did the ground, and I just did the plants and the road.
Cool. So he ended up putting up all these like fake facades and the covered buildings and everything. Is that like what? Also Blender, or is it matte painting?
I think he used After Effects.
Okay.
So I think he did it all in After Effects.
Cool, man. Well done as well. Okay, cool. So let's move on. So then you have the woman on the screen where you did some facial touch up. I'm very surprised that you were allowed to show this.
That's FX guide footage.
Okay.
That's like I just took some footage from a course, and this is actually using the copycat node.
Oh, really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, all I had to do was paint like two. I painted like 2 frames, and the copycat node like did all the work.
Okay.
Actually.
Cool, man. Cool. Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, if anything, she looks a little bit tiny too soft, but normally on these kind of jobs, that's what they want anyway. Yeah. So I think you did a fantastic job. And so how was your experience with the copycat? I'll be honest, like I really have not had a good experience yet with it. How was it? Like, was it easy to get into? Like, do you think it was worth it to use it?
Well, you need a really powerful graphics card, and it doesn't really work well on dark shots. But something that's really well lit, like this shot, like a beauty stuff, like it does really well. It's pretty amazing. And I saw Nuke 14's got a whole new.
Yeah, they have the cattery. The cool thing about this, it looks to me like it's going to become some kind of like gizmo repository for copycat, which is wonderful. I love that people are going to start sharing that. Cool, man. No, this is really well made, and it's cool that you used copycat. That's awesome. That could be like a major factor to sell yourself with that, because maybe you should write that there, Nuke plus copycat or something, so people kind of understand that. Because it's really nice.
Thanks.
Cool, man. And then you have this girl and the car, the car being like, is that like another different show with all the cars on the field? Is that like another show?
Oh, that's just That was a spec spot I did for somebody.
A what? Sorry.
A spec spot. This guy, this director, he wants to be a director, so he shot his own commercial. And so I basically did all the VFX on his commercial.
Okay, cool.
So he's trying to get work, and I did this for him.
Cool, man. And so yeah, so it's like a demo thing for him to showcase his work. Okay, I never heard that expression.
Oh, really?
No, I never. But but it doesn't mean anything. It might be just because I'm Portuguese and I'm in the UK. Like I don't think they call it that. I think they call it a
right.
demo. I think they call it a
Right.
demo here. It's always
Right.
these different little things
Yeah.
in Britain and the United States. So okay, so besides the removal of the big ass wood plank, the pillar there, what else did you do on the shot as well? You also removed the light.
The line.
The lines, electricity lines, poles as well. Yeah, it's very well done. There's a different. You've zoomed in as well, didn't you? Because you removed some of this vignetting on the lens, didn't you, or something? Or
yeah, he wanted that taken out.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's pretty seamless. I mean, did a good job.
Yeah, I didn't do it completely over there.
Yeah, no, yeah, the corner. Well, the corners still have it, but I figured that maybe they wanted that to still be there. But the corners still have a little bit. But in terms of the wire removal and the recovery of the trees there, and also like the truck, it looks good to me. You also managed to get some of the smoke back on top as well, which was good. It looks to me like though, like again, it kind of looks to me like, especially the tree on the right side, the same thing that you had with the people hanging on the park. It kind of looks to me like it's a bit softer. It might be when you paint, or if you, I don't know if you're using a card or using a projection or you're using a time, like a still, a frame hold or something for that tree. So if that's the case, it might be that you're filtering it a bit too much and it's losing a little bit of the sharpness. But again, man, I'm really reaching at straws. This is not something that problematic. It's a real small detail, and I keep saying this on my showreel reviews. It really depends where this would be delivered. If it's a commercial, this is amazing and it's mind-blowing. If it's a film, then maybe it should be fixed, because when you project this really big on the screen, then it becomes a bigger issue. But for commercial, it won't be an issue at all. So, and it's a commercial, so it doesn't matter. Then we have a car on a field with the wheel dropping by. So what's going on here?
same spot. They just they had the car drive through, and then they just did other passes where they threw junk out, and like the tire and that's all that stuff is composited together into the smoke.
Oh, cool. So you had like what footage of these things being thrown over black or something?
No, same exact location.
Oh, that's cool.
I just had to like rotoscope them in.
Yeah, well, that always helps when they shot. That's really good. That's smart. Were you on set or was someone else on set?
I was not. Not.
That's smart, man. Because whenever doing elements, that's the trickiest part, is to get the light right. And if you're gonna shoot it in the same place, you're gonna get the light right. So it's really good. You also did some extensive work on the car itself as well. Like you can see that the car is like much brighter and like much touched up. You have like a much more strong rim light on the car, on the front, on the bonnet, and on the front as well. So that's good. Cool. Yeah, it's very good work, man.
Thanks.
As well. You have some really good work here on your showreel. You have a lot of work on the showreel. Like it's really long, not long. Sorry, it's short, but I mean has a lot of work. That's what I mean. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And so after that we have, after the car, let's see here. We have the guy with the phone with the hat. That's like a tracking job that you did there with the screen. So I think it's okay. I did notice when I saw it that you did a really good job with the motion blur, and I think you did a really good job when you're comping it in with the hand. I don't truly believe it when it's dropped there, when it's static there, and the reason for that is because I don't buy it that it would be this sharp. Because everything around it is not that sharp. If you look closely, you can kind of see that the towel, the red towel is already a bit soft anyway, has some depth of field. The whole thing is quite soft, and I kind of feel like this is way too much high resolution on that screen. I feel like you need to make it a bit softer for the image and the screen itself. But this is only an issue, I think, when it gets dropped. Everything else before, I think, looks great. Did a good job with the track, and did a good job with the motion blur as well. It's quite realistic. So, yeah.
Okay.
Someone on the chat, Papi Sharma, is saying, maybe publish a tutorial on copycat. So maybe they're asking you if you can make a tutorial about that shot.
Okay, yeah, I actually did one with Patrick Stewart and Logan with his skin on my YouTube channel.
Oh, cool. Oh, man, why don't you? I didn't know that. Shout out to your YouTube channel. Let's get you some people watching YouTube. What's your YouTube channel?
Just 1.21 gigawatt productions.
Oh, is that the? Okay, cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm gonna go in and share the screen here so people can see it. 1.21 giga. Yeah, there you go. Gigawatt channel. I think it was because I think I'm subscribed, but let's see here. Where is it? Channel. There's quite a few. Wait a minute. I need to find the one. I need to write the whole thing, otherwise. You said 1 gigawatt productions, right?
Yeah. Or you can just look up my name. I don't know, maybe.
Or you could give me the link. That's the other thing.
Oh, I can just link it to you.
No, it's fine. I think here we go. I think I found it. I think that's the one.
No, that's not.
That's
no.
Okay. Yeah, send me the link because I
I'll
want to
send
share
you the
it
link right now. Sorry.
No, not a problem. No, it's not to be sorry about. It was me that asked, so don't worry. So you're sending the link to where? On the Discord?
Discord?
Okay.
Right here.
There
you go.
Cool, man. Just want to get you some people to watch it.
Oh, thank you.
So, cool, man. Well, no, I am not subscribed. Now I am. Okay, so let's just get your name here because you now have a tag as well. So let's just get it correctly here. So yeah, that's the one. So okay, cool. There's the name, man. Guys, come on, go and show some support and some love to Eugene here. So Eugene, do you kind of like? Oh yeah, you have the video there. You have it. No, so that's just the shot. Yeah. So you were saying that you had a tutorial.
Yeah. Oh, it's not a tutorial, but and look in videos, and there's a Patrick Stewart de-aging.
Oh yeah, I see that. Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Of course, now we see that we need to see a commercial, of course, first.
Sure.
Well, okay, here you go.
It's very minor. It's just like I painted but I only did one frame.
Cool, man. But it's well done.
But it doesn't work on anything that's too dark. It won't.
Yeah. We'll give you some problems. Yeah.
Yeah, but the forehead, the top of the head was really just one frame, and then the copycat node took care of the rest.
Cool, man. Very nice. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, awesome. Well, hopefully some people subscribe. And do you often put videos here, or what are you doing here on the channel?
I try to do just a lot of all my experiments, creative stuff. I've been trying to rotoscope animation stuff too, just for fun, just to be creative.
Cool, man. Yeah, these look great. These metro. I mean, go and check this out. I've seen you around on my channel. I've seen you on the comments. I've seen you on comments on the podcast and comments on my videos, because I've seen your name, the name of your channel.
Right.
A lot of times people just have a name. I didn't even realize you had a channel. So it's a great name for a channel, man.
Thanks.
It's a great name for a channel. Do you have other social media as well where you are connecting there, or?
Yeah, it's the same thing on Twitter, like
same
1.21 gigawatts, and then a TikTok. Oh, it's all the same content though, so it's not like
that's fine.
It's nothing different really.
No, but I like to support people and share around the love. So I'm just gonna. It's probably not. Is it productions as well on Twitter? How is it on Twitter?
1.21 gigawatt productions or gigawatt pro.
Gigawatt
Let me see.
Pro. Maybe like
121 underscore gigawatt pro. Gigawatt
cool.
pro.
Found you.
Thanks.
Found you. Cool. Okay, cool. Making animations in VFX. Well, here's as well. So people check you out as well. People love Patrick Stewart's apparently.
Who doesn't?
Cool, man. I know he's lovely. I like him as well. Cool, man. Well, awesome.
Thanks.
Can't wait to see for what you're gonna come up with as well. I'm following you as well. Oh, you're in Brooklyn right now. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's get back to your showreel. Sorry for the deviation. Okay, so let's go back to this thing. So, okay, yeah, we talked about this shot already, so let's just move on to the next one. So, what about this shot here with the troop and the guy going away with the bag? Is that also like the same show as well than before?
That's
same
a short.
commercial?
That's a short film.
Cool.
I worked on as I did that as an online editor.
Cool.
I might be lying about Nuke. That might be Shake.
That's fine. I mean, I don't think it. Well, Shake is gone, so Shake is gone. Well, it's not gone. Like it's still around, but it doesn't really run properly. It stopped running properly a couple of versions away from macOS, but I still have a machine that runs it. Still have a machine. I still have it on my shelf. The box, I have both Shake 3 and Shake 4 on boxed, and I recently bought a sealed box of Shake on eBay. Okay, so this really simple of course, like removal and putting a new logo there. Yeah, did a good job. I don't really see any issues. It's a really simple job. I guess it was only the top really, because the rest was already there, wasn't it? Like, so they on set they didn't bother to the rest or something. Was that it?
I guess I don't know. They just asked me to do it, so
it's weird, isn't it? Because they did all the job of doing the car, but then they didn't do the top part. Cool, man.
Maybe they didn't expect the top part to be there. Who knows?
Yeah, that could be when the car showed up and it's all broken up and all dirty. Yeah, it could be.
And like we can't take this off. Let's just put some green on there and track it.
And then you have a phone removal here. I mean, the phone removal looks pretty seamless to me. Your reflections are still there. It looks spot on. I mean, really good work. I mean, I don't really have anything to say. Is this Shake as well?
Yeah, this is the same film.
You're lying.
I know. I can't put Shake there because I put Lightwave on one shot. I'm like, I don't want to take that off.
Well, and if you put Shake, people won't know what it is. Like,
I know. I know.
Well, what is that? Like,
I know.
I think.
Well, they'll think I'm really old.
But it doesn't. That's the thing. It doesn't matter if you're old or if the shot is old, as long as it looks good. The shot does look very good, so I don't think you should take it out anyway. Okay. So I think your reflection is spot on. Your tracking. I mean, the only thing I notice, I think you did a good job. It's just at the very end when it goes up, it slides. That's the only thing I noticed. Like if you go frame by frame, you see there it's really well merged. And I know you're watching a delayed stream on YouTube, but as I go on the really end, it slides ever so slightly, and it's only a couple of frames. But but it's not a big deal, I think. Tell me what's going on with this black and white. I guess, is this World War I or World War II? World War I, right?
That's World War I. Yeah.
What's going on here? Is that a short film as well?
That's an independent film. Looks
beautiful. Looks glorious. Is that like shot? Is that like a real set in a location or something, or?
They shot the director literally like dug a hole in his front yard, and they got a big gigantic like tarp, and they created a hole in the ground, and and I just had to roto everything. This took forever. This was like a nightmare because they wanted like this distant stuff in the background to give it like and in the side shot you can see the tarp, and what is the sun is really just a light, and I just kind of cover it up with a brighter light.
Thing. Yeah. It looks cool. I mean, this is so atmospheric and so stylized that I don't think there's any issues with how weird it looks, that thing on the background, and how. I mean, if anything, I would say is that your masking, your roto is a bit too sharp, and if you look at this fella here, for example, the guy on the middle left, on the upper side, the guy pointing the gun lower, his edges are a bit too sharp. They need a bit soft and edge masking, and in general, even the gun as well. The guns with the two dudes that are inside the hole. On the left side, they also have, I think it's too sharp, those edges. Easily fixed by some edge blurring and some, maybe some light wrapping. But I can understand how difficult it is because, man, look at the shot. Like, it's pure dark. Like, it's it's super hard to see the edges. It's super dark. So you did a good job.
Thanks. It's easier to see because originally it's in color, obviously, and it's like it's easier to see in color. You can in black and white. It gets very hard to discern. But.
Yeah. Now it's really all about the edges. I think the blurriness of those they are too sharp, and also you have some wobbliness sometimes on some of the edges, especially for example the legs of this troop that is on the upper hand. They have some wobble on some of the shapes. I also think maybe it would help if you had some motion blur applied to the masks as well. You know, I feel like a lot of times I've noticed that sometimes often artists don't put enough motion blur on certain things, and I feel like that could hide some of your edge issues as well. But it's not on all of them. So, for example, the guy on the front, the guy on the right side, the guy closest to camera, he looks great. I think his edges are looking good. It's really just mainly the guy on the top there, on the top hill, that is having the bigger issues. But I mean, I think it's well done. I don't, is this out already? Is it out already, or is it?
Yeah, that's it's called Foxhole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's an issue. I mean, again, like I said, like you can always do better, and you can always like spend more time on things. You know, this is what it is. It's been released, so it's so who cares now? It's been released.
Right.
Okay, cool. But this it's very impressive that they shot this in the backyard of someone. It's very impressive because it doesn't look like a backyard at all. You would fool me. It looks really like someone actually made a real set to do this. It's well done. Okay, so we have the guy blooding to death there. I'm assuming you just put some blood. Is this blood is it Blender as well, or is it like stock footage?
That's Action VFX, I
think. This shot is sponsored by Action VFX. They'll love that. I'm sure they're watching. So okay, cool, man. That's good. Yeah. Well.
So I added all the blood on the shirt and stuff with smart vectors.
Cool, man. Yeah, looks great.
Thanks.
Don't really have anything to say. It looks terrific. Oh, thank you, Vitaly, saying that I have for detail. I'm glad that you think that. Okay, so then after this, we have a troop which has also a gun hit, some splash of blood. Is this is a completely different film or project, isn't it?
No, it's the same one.
Oh,
there's three different wars, yeah.
Okay, I see. So they mix between the. Okay, I see. So in here was it also like again you've made this blood growing, isn't it? There was something already there, I guess. And then
I had to make the little shrapnel bigger, and then I had to augment the blood, and now all that is the grade in a roto.
Yeah, looks good. I think you I mean, if this
actually,
was
might be smart vector too.
If this was like real CG, of course it would be different. The shape would kind of like go around some of those creases on the shirt, and it would have bounced in a different way. But I feel like it's such a quick shot. I think this is a really good solution that you've done here. So I think it's good. Okay. So well done, man.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's go the next one here. Again as well. So is this short film somewhere that people can watch it? It's quite interesting.
Yeah. Just no, it's a feature. Go watch Foxhole. This guy Jack Fessenden.
Oh, cool, man. Oh, sorry. I'm curious about this now. I'm gonna just like Google it a little bit. So you said it's called Foxhole.
Yeah.
Altogether, or is it separate? Foxhole.
One name.
Oh yeah, this one. No, this is a video game. It's not this.
It's a video game. It's gonna come up too. Unfortunately, I think
okay, but it's not connected, right?
No, not at all. I think they came out a little earlier, unfortunately. So
it's this one, I guess. 3 different wars. Yeah, this is the one, right? Oh, cool, man. I'm definitely going to check this out. I like this idea of having the wars and having the black and white and the color thing. And yeah, I'm going to check this out, man. Is this like on streaming, or I guess, or is it? It's been out for a long time, or?
It came out like earlier in the year.
Okay, cool. Oh, well done, man. This looks terrific. Look at that, man. I still can't believe it's a backyard of someone. Jesus, like what the hell? It's really nice. It's very rare that there are films about the First World War. It's very rare. I like that a lot. And one of my favorite films is Path to Glory from Stanley Kubrick, which is a First World War film as well. Oh, so it's the American Civil War as well. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Sounds
awesome.
And it's the same actors in every scenario.
Oh, really? Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Is it a good film? Like, you like the film?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, I've posted on the chats. People gonna go and watch it. Not that you're gonna get anything from that, but that's fine. You're not because you were the main composer, or was it a large team working on this?
No, there's another compositor. He had Flame, and he does the Civil War shots where they added fog to like every shot. It's like it's very like all the fog in that film in the Civil War is all done in Flame by this other guy. I forget his name, but he's a really cool guy, really talented. And he did all that.
That requires some guts to do a film on Flame, man. Jesus. Because Flame is like really not built for film, you know. It's like it's really good and fast and everything, but that's cool, man, that they've used Flame for that. It's not very common to use Flame on film, but that's awesome. Okay, cool. And then I guess the one on the desert here again, another bullet hole as well. Bullet hits. Yeah, looks really good as well. Did a really good tracking job there, I think. I don't really see any issues. Yeah, your work is really good, man. I mean, some of the issues we've seen, they're quite minor, like I said, with those edges and the tracking on the phone. They're just minor shots, and I'm assuming also that you probably had limited time on these kind of projects, and it's always a bit tricky to kind of do these projects. So you have also the wound here. Is that also from the same short film? The guy with the hole
this
on
is the yeah, this is the Civil War segment, and you can see the tube that was pumping the blood.
Yeah, I see that. That's really nasty. Damn. It's pretty cool. It's very good prosthetics as well. Like, you had some good people on set for the makeup as well. That's good. Okay, cool. Well, that's over for that. So then we have like a Nuke in Photoshop building, I guess, projection thing that you've done here. Is that also for a film or a short or a commercial? What is that?
That's just me practicing.
Okay, cool. Excellent. So I think well, I can see that you actually managed to get those perspectives going, because it's quite tricky to get such different photos to kind of blend in. We were just discussing this on the earlier showreel review, where they had some issues with the perspective shifts, and I think they did a really good job trying to merge them in some way and deform them in some way so that they still look like they're the same perspective. Because I think most people would still think this would be all together from the same place. For me, like personally, when I look at the shot, I think it looks good, but there's a couple of things that feel kind of out of place for me. The first thing is, I think the shot is underexposed. And I'm saying this because even though this is nighttime, the sheer fact that you had the floodlight on the top there, it would produce more light. You know, because if they would have shot this with a camera, they would have exposed to the bar. You know, they would have exposed to the front door. That means they probably would have pushed the ISO up. They would have tried to maybe reduce the f-stop to try to film that doorway so that you can see something. Because at the moment, this is very underexposed. If a DOP would shoot this, they would probably get into trouble, you know, because they not even, maybe even get fired, because it's really low exposure on the shot. And you can see that as well from the buildings on the back, the ones on the right side, because they also are too dark. I feel like overall, you should just push the exposure up. Okay. And don't be afraid of having overexposure, because the floodlight will be overexposed. That's fine, because it would. You know, it would always be overexposed. And also the neon signs also would overexpose. That's also just perfectly fine. Normally, when you shoot something outside, if you shoot like neon lights on the nighttime, and if you expose to a dark area of the photo, the neon signs would be overexposed anyway. So I just feel like you just need to ramp up the exposure, because even this car, for example, the car is so dark you hardly see it. And you still have these specular highlight reflections on the car, but where are they coming from? Because they're so crushed down and they're so clamped. You know, so I feel like pump up the light here and just expose to that door, you know, and then everything else will, I think, come together, you know. Because you've done the hardest part. The hardest part was the perspective merging, which you've done. It looks good. That is working. It's just the light levels of this shot that I think. Because even if I scroll a bit earlier on your breakdown, I kind of prefer the beginning of the shot, to be honest. Like the one that is still daytime looks so much more realistic to me. You know, because you've established. I mean, it would be very hard for anyone to not think that this is just a photo, because you see, if I just pause just before you convert to the nighttime, you know, this looks like you took a photo. Like, there's no way anyone would tell me, oh yeah, this is a Photoshop matte painting. I mean, you look at it, like, of course, if you start looking at it really closely, you start to think it's a bit fishy, and like there's something weird with it, but I can't put a finger on it. Looks very realistic because you've merged the perspective so well. It's when you switch to night that becomes a problem, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a very well done shot. I think it's really easy. Just expose a couple of stops up and you'll be fine, you know. Cool. And then this one, Lightwave 3D, Nuke Photoshop, is that also a personal project?
Yep. Everything from now on is going to be personal.
Okay, cool.
This is me just getting some friends out to a parking lot and trying to like create stuff to composite.
They didn't have enough money to buy the tickets, so they had to stay outside. And that's good. Okay, so first things first, I feel like this is now, don't get this the wrong way, but I think this is the worst shot so far that I've seen on the showreel. The reason I say this is because your stadium is really very, very badly integrated. It has, the black levels are not correct. There's not enough light wrapping coming from the bright sky in wrapping around the stadium. The stadium should be much more hazy because it's so far away, and its black levels should really be much more hazed up. If you haze up the stadium, it's almost like, you know, these pillars with the stadium light, the floodlights of the stadium, they almost should be like blending into blue because they are blending into the sky. So you need light wrapping, you need the black levels to be lifted, you know, basically lift the black levels. And I think then you would be fine. I think with having having like the black levels and the light wrapping, I think you would solve the problem. And then, because if you look at the original, and the other thing as well is, if you look at the original plate, you have a really bright sky, which is great. I like your bright sky. I think you should leave it bright. And with that in mind, then your stadium should also be bright because it's that bright. That's the bright of that sky. See, you go into a lot of lengths to lower the exposure to try to put the stadium, and that looks fishy. It looks weird. I think you should embrace the exposure because that's what's on the plate, and then put the stadium there, haze up the stadium, lift the black points, blur the stadium a bit because you see the trees are quite blurred. So the stadium should be more blurred because you now have a disconnect between the blurry of the trees, which are now rotoed, but they are now not blurred anymore because your shapes are too sharp. And then your stadium is too sharp behind those trees. So, yeah, I guess it's three things. Leave the exposure of the sky, light trap the stadium, lift the blacks, and blur the stadium. And then I think you're good. I think you would be good with that. Because... don't get this the wrong way, and I hope you don't. Like, you know, I feel like this shot is really bringing down your showreel right now.
Okay.
Because everything else looked so cool and so good so far, and it's so impressive, everything else you've shown, and then it kind of falls apart on this shot a bit, and which is good that it's at the end. That's good, because maybe a lot of people watch only the beginning of the showreels and they would be impressed by what you've shown so far. So maybe they didn't get to the end, you know, and so then, didn't saw that. But if they would stick around until the end, they would be very disappointed by seeing this shot, because this shot kind of tells me that you can't really comp those things together and merge them. And so it kind of shows me that you're really good at cleanup and really good at painting and really good at tracking, but then you kind of are... You already failed a little bit on the night shot with the bar, a little bit with the exposure, and now you're failing again the exposure. So it's almost like your photography bases need a bit of touch up here. You need to kind of like embrace this exposure, embrace this sky, you know. And then we have the guy with the breaking the floor and the cars jumping. Yeah. I like that. This is really funny shot. Okay, so here's the thing. So the cars look great, actually, I think. You know, first, when the shot first shows up, I mean, the black levels and the white levels and the exposure levels on those cars are almost perfect. They're almost there. And I think the cars on the back look actually better than the ones on the front, because the ones on the back have a brighter sky on the bonnet, you know.
Right.
And I feel like the ones on the front are losing some of their contrast and they're losing some of the exposure. But it's a really subtle thing, because you could fool me. Like, I think if I saw this quick on a commercial, I probably wouldn't notice that much. It's when I start looping, when I start looking really closely, then okay, there's some problems here, because you start to notice that, you know, there's something wrong on the front of this car. What's going on here? Oh, this bright bonnet on the front of this black car, that looks fishy. It looks a bit clamped. Oh, this fake Mercedes next to this car on the right side, the white Mercedes, the white looks a bit washed out and there's no logo on the front of the car. Then you start to notice, oh, this must be CG. There's a few problems here. And also, it doesn't help that we saw real cars before. So just the shot before, we saw all these real cars in the parking lot and they look great. And they have this exposure, they have this contrast, they have this brightness. And then we go, and then it's all a bit more dully here. So I think you almost got it. It just needs a little bit more speculars and needs a little bit more work with the black levels with these cars. But then it falls apart when they jump. That's the problem, because I think the animation of them jumping, I think you did a good job, and it's funny, but it's weird that they all jump at exact the same time, because the fact of the matter is all cars have different weights, and so they would not jump this close together. Most likely, the van would not jump as much because it's heavier. The Porsche will probably jump more because it's lighter. There would be more difference between the jumps. And I
have a little of that, but yeah, I could do some more. Because like the car up front, like I did do that a little bit.
And you do. And I think it's almost there. That's what I was going to say. Like, I think you did a good job, and I think it's almost there. I just feel like you need to separate more, especially the cars on the back. The cars on the back are all one line, and they are not all jumping. And also the cars on the back, maybe they don't jump, because most of the hit was on the front, and progressively they would jump less as they get further away from this hit, you know?
True.
So I feel like, again, just like with I think this shot is really well done, and I just think it needs a few things. It needs that specular. It's much more well done than the other stadium, to a point that I would say that you should remove the stadium one until you fix it and keep this one, because this one just needs those specular highlights. And then I think it just needs a little bit tweaking with this animation, because it's a cool idea. It's a really cool idea. I think it did a good job, and even the simulation is looking good. When the ball hits the floor, I feel like the braking could also be with more little small parts. I think it would be, this is an opinion, that this is like a personal opinion. In my personal opinion, I think it would be cooler if you had more little pieces of debris also jumping, and not so many large parts, because usually usually asphalt does not break this way. It usually, asphalt tends to be softer, and so it would probably become more small little parts than becoming larger chunks. So I kind of feel like it would probably look better if it had smaller little parts jumping around. But yeah, I mean, I think the shot could definitely be solved, and it already has a really good beginning, and it's funny as well, which is really cool, because I think having a funny shot is always good for a showreel, because you get a smile on the face of the person, and the person's gonna is gonna laugh a little bit, and they're gonna remember you, you know, because they're gonna like, oh, this is the guy that had like the cars flying around and jumping. It's always memorable. That's the cool thing about this kind of shot, you know.
Right.
So yeah, Carlo is saying on the chat, self-fracture add-on would help this maybe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that's definitely a great opinion, Carlo. I think that's good. But yeah, but let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's one thing I wanted to say. Let's just say that this is incredibly impressive, because you've done this by yourself, Blender and Nuke. This is not very common, so well done on you, because it's not very common that someone actually does the CG and the comp and the roto and the paint and the prep and everything. It just does everything. That's what you are here. So it is good that you are doing so much here, but there is a reason why a shot like this, if this was on a film, imagine if this was like a large scale Marvel movie, you know, like one of those shots, like large scales. There's a reason why you have like 5 or 6 people working on the shot, because this is way too much just for you. It's way too much. It's too much work, you know, because for this to really, really work in a professional way, you would have to have a good animator to animate these cars, or maybe someone really good at physics and really good at simulations to try to make the simulation of the car jumping. And then the composer, which is you would do a great job integrating everything. And then, you know, like at least 2 people should be doing this job and sharing it, because I feel like it's too much just for one person to handle all of this, you know. So well done, man. Well done, because it's a lot of work. I know how much work it is to do something like this. And I don't mean like to come over here and just like shit all over your shot, you know. I'm not.
No. I understand.
So because I feel like you did a fantastic job, and man, if I would have gotten this showreel, I would be disappointed about the stadium shot. But when I saw this shot and the rest of your other shots, I would be quite inclined to hire you, because I would be like, oh, there's something with this guy. Like, this guy is a hard worker. He has a lot of skill. He does a lot of things. He's a generalist. He does Blender as well. Like, you can kind of see that you are a good fit for a company, because you can kind of see that you can have a lot of hats. You know, it's good for that. So yeah. Cool. Then next up, we have this photo of, I guess this is a New York subway station. Really broken down, man. They need to like clean it up a little bit. They need to like paint it up, right? It's a bit looking a bit like the London tube station. Some of them look like this as well.
Well, that section over there is actually not even used.
Oh, I see.
And if you ever saw the music video Bad, this is the same station.
Oh, cool. That's cool, man. That's cool. Okay, so what's going on here? You've actually picked this photo and then you projected? Was that what you did?
Yeah, so this is all, the projection's mainly done in Blender. And it's just a photo, and then I added some mega scans to it.
What is this shot doing here, man? Where is this shot? Should be on the very beginning, or at least before the stadium. This shot is great. It's really good shot.
I mean, the biggest reason I wanted to like show this to you, because like I've been getting a lot of different reactions from interviews, and I can't say like it's gone that great. I mean, most of the people I talk to that see Blender, it seems to really turn them off.
Yeah. Maybe remove that word. Maybe just say, that's actually a good point, because maybe you should just say, and that also solves the shake problem. Maybe you should just say compositing, CG. That's it. Right. Be agnostic, because, you know, I wouldn't care that you've done this in Blender. I know some people would, and some companies will not. Some companies will. It really depends on the company. Some companies are embracing Blender because it's kind of the future, really, to be honest. Like, Blender is kind of taking over, really.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really amazing.
It is. And also, like, you're starting to finally see the first big Hollywood films with Blender. Biggest one that just came out was not an Hollywood film, sorry, a big film. I mean, RRR was the first one that really invested a lot in Blender, and the most of the film is done in Blender. It's a huge budget film in India. It's taking the world by storm, and it was done in Blender, and who cares what is done in Blender? So I feel like you're definitely going to find that some companies are going to give you a hard time because they want to stay away from there, because they have their own pipeline, and they're going to be scared of seeing that word, because then they think that it might take too long to train you to do something else. But I feel like when I look at this showreel, I see a compositor, right? Like, that's what you want to do, right? Like, you don't want to be a 3D artist, I'm guessing. So I guess, like, for me, because you want to be a compositor, knowing 3D is just an extra. Right. So I don't want the company to be afraid of not hiring you, because they might think, oh, I'm going to have to train this person to Maya, when in fact you just want to use Nuke, not really use Maya. You just have this extra skill set.
Like, I want to understand everything. I'm trying to understand everything. And an interviewer from a company was like, he's like, maybe it'll be better in 3D. You really should learn Maya. And I'm like, okay, thanks.
I mean,
I'm like, not getting this job.
I must say, you know, like, you need to understand also that you're going to get different opinions from different
Oh,
places
yeah.
because
Oh, yeah.
because companies are going to be in different places. Companies are going to
Totally.
be in different locations, different mindsets, and pipelines will be different. So,
Yeah.
in my personal opinion, and you take it if you want to, I
Yeah.
think it would be beneficial for you to just say compositing and CG. I think so.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what I've been running into, and I'm like, I gotta change this a little bit.
Yeah, and I think, and then if they really ask you, if they on the interview ask you, oh, what is this in CG? What you did it for? Then you can just say, I know you say what you want, but I would maybe if I was on your shoes, I would say, well, I want to be a compositor. I mainly use Nuke, but I did this in Blender because Blender is free. You can just say that, like you don't need to tell them that you are an advocate of Blender. This unfortunately turns some people off. You can just say, oh yeah, it's free. I can't pay for Maya. I had to use Blender. That's what I picked.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can just reassure them by saying, but I'm sure I could probably learn Maya, and because you could.
Right.
I'm sure if you do this, I'm sure you could learn Maya. It's not like if you get a job, you'll be surprised by how much you'll learn on the job. So you'll be like, by being there. So you've had jobs before, you know that. But this shot is really good, and I think you did a fantastic job on lighting, on rendering, on exposure, and just the fact that it's a photo. It's a really well done job. And I think it should be closer to the beginning of the showreel because if you look here, your first shot is definitely not the best shot you've done, and be careful with this because a lot of people switch off a showreel and then they won't watch the rest.
So I had other advice. They're like, like one guy was like, show me like something that's gone to air. Like, so that's like, well, he wanted to say that somebody hired me, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's really, don't get me wrong, Eugene. That's good advice.
Yeah.
But even stuff that is on air, you've done better than this. That's the thing.
Okay.
So yes, that's a good advice. Start with stuff that is real production. That's always the case. That's a good advice. Okay. And then move on to your personal work. But I just feel that I feel like from your production work, you have better than this shot. Because if you scrub, these shots are okay, but even the one of the people hanging on the park is a better shot. Okay. Even the shot with the famous director is a better shot. Even the matte painting / CG of New York is a better shot. And then not to mention your war film is a film. It's also a better pick for the beginning. I think these production shots, that's the thing. You should just reverse the order and have the more accomplished production shots beginning, and then you go to the not the simpler ones. And then, of course, you wrap up with the personal work. But so maybe I was missing understanding. What I meant was to put that subway shot before it should be your first personal work because it's the best personal work you have. Okay. It's better than your stadium. It's better than your cars. It's better than your bar. I think that's the thing. So yes, definitely, it's good advice that you got there from that guy. And I guess then, last but not least, I think that's the last shot, isn't it?
There's one more.
Yeah,
it's like the first
which is the outside, I guess, of the station or something. Is that something?
Oh, it's a movie theater.
Yeah. So this is like full CG, right?
I did a photo scan. I was experimenting with photo scans with the theater by me.
Yeah.
And that's the shot that got me the job on that show for HBO in the beginning. Like my friend saw this, he's like, "Oh, you can do apocalypse. Here, do these apocalypse shots."
Yeah, and I guess this looks terrific, by the way. And I guess the same advice would go: don't mention any software, because you want to be agnostic. You want to present yourself as an agnostic person. Like, I'll do compositing, and I'll do the best compositing you'll get. Hire me. I'll do some CG as well. And then when you get hired or during the interview, you can then get into details, like because they'll ask you, oh, how did you do this? Well, I used Mexscan, I used Blender, I used Blender and Mexscan because they're free. I can't afford I can't really do it there, but I'm really looking forward to using those. It's almost like, I think you need to kind of sell yourself on that way because this is an accomplished shot. It's a nice shot. And putting the software there. As soon as you start putting Megascans as well there, like as a name, people are going to just also kind of switch off because there's this misconception that Megascans is done. It's like you just do it and it's done. It's all perfect and it's all working. It's the same misconception people have that Unreal is already good already by just using it. It's really easy. None of those things are true. You know, you need the skill set and the artistic ability to actually put everything together. But unfortunately, there's a bit of a misconception, and especially on the recruitment people as well. So keep that in mind. But yeah, man, your showreel is great. We've went through some of the problems. Definitely think they are really doable. If they're not doable, if you don't have time, maybe just remove the stadium shot.
I think I'm going to do that.
And just rearrange the order of these shots, the productions. Okay. Start with the better, the more accomplished productions, and with the less accomplished. Then go to your personal work. Try to fix with that night shot with the bar. And just make sure you remove all traces of software mention. Just be agnostic. Yeah. Compositing, roto, painting, tracking. Use those words. Roto, painting, tracking, compositing, CG, modeling. Use the words of the task itself and not the software. You know, because then your CV will say what software you use. You know, that's there if they want to go deeper. You know. So.
Yeah, I had a guy from SNL call me because somebody sent me a reel. He's like, "This looks great, but can you do Roto and After Effects?" I'm like, "Sure," but he's like, "Really?" He's like, "You got nuke all over this thing," and I'm like, "Oh."
Yeah, you see, because I guess if that was a remote work, you probably would have figured it out, right? I mean, you would have probably. Oh, yeah, exactly.
I would, if it was remote work, I would just did it in Mocha anyway. I mean, it was.
No one needs to know. That's the thing. Yeah. Even when you're in a company, I used to be, when I was the head of Nuke at the mill, my position was head of Nuke. But I used so many different softwares, you know. I used Smoke, and I used like Photoshop, and I used like a little bit of everything, and whatever did the job. No one cares. Yeah. I opened up. I had a Mac Pro next to it was all Linux based, but I had a Mac Pro on my desk, and I had After Effects on it. If I needed something quick, I'll do it in After Effects. Doesn't matter. No one cares. You know, it's just a pass that I'm gonna bring into Nuke, or a pass that I'm gonna use somewhere else. Whatever does the job. And I think the best companies are really the companies that open up to as much software agnostic as possible. You know, I feel like that's like the best approach. Cool, man. Well, I mean, it was an absolute pleasure. I apologize a little bit that it was such a long review, and I apologize to the audience as well. But
sorry,
yeah, you have some really good work, man, and I think you should continue. If you ever want to have an updated review, just, you know, I'm here every month. I'm going to start being twice a month from January. It's going to start to be twice a month, my reviews. Just come by, you know, we can re-review some of the shots again. Yeah, just contact me. And if you need anything, just contact me on the Discord as well. You know where to find me.
Thanks for doing this.
No problem, man.
This is really helpful.
No problem. No problem. It was my pleasure. So thanks everyone, and don't forget to support 1.21 gigawatt productions on YouTube. And I'll see you later, man.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, cool. Well, that was great. Thank you so much for doing that, Eugene. So we are long overdue a break, so we're gonna do that now. We really need to do a break, because it's been like a long time since we do a break. So we're going to do a 10-minute break now, as usual. And don't worry, we're going to do the giveaways right after the break. So stick around for that. And then we'll have another show review after that. I can't wait to see more. So I'll see you all very soon in about 10 minutes. Don't forget that we're going to have a word from our sponsor, the amazing people, the wonderful people at BenQ that supported this stream. And that's because of them that we are able to do these streams live. They're supporting it as a sponsor. So thank you so much, BenQ. So we're going to have a word from the sponsor, and we'll be back in about 10 minutes. I'll see you all very soon. Okay, we are back. Thank you so much again for BenQ for the support to this stream, and you just saw a commercial from them. Thank you so much again. Pretty shocking. I just noticed on Twitter that Brazil lost with Croatia. I guess I'm gonna have to go and check the check the game out. That's really surprising. It was like kind of like expecting Brazil to win, but I guess Croatia has always been extremely dangerous. So it should have been probably. I'm sure it was a really good game. Anyway, let's do another giveaway, and then we are gonna be doing the last showreel review of the day. I have already lined up the next one, so let's just do the second giveaway, and then we'll do one last giveaway at the very end. So this will be the last showreel review. For all of you just watching, thank you so much for still being here. Thank you so much for supporting my stream. Even though during the World Cup, I am so sorry that I shouldn't have done the stream today, because I should have done it yesterday because there was no games yesterday. I should have really done it without the World Cup interrupting the streams, but apologize for that. Anyway, let's do the giveaway once more and see who wins. Let's see. I'm gonna just do the rolling of the dice now and see who wins the second Hugo's Desk Nuke course. Okay, so the new winner, so let's see here. The winner of the Nuke course is, let's see here. Rolling the dice now. Let's see here. Just waiting for the rolling of the dice. Sometimes it takes a while for it to... I need to check out what's going on with this software. It's a bit weird. Okay, so the winner of the... Okay, now we have a winner. Okay, cool. See if he's here. I hope he is. So the winner is Mariel Falco. Is Mariel Falco here? Mariel Falco from Argentina. Before we had a winner, which was Vinay Vinu from India. And now we have Mariel Falco from Argentina. Hope he's here. The Argentina game is only in 10 minutes. So you still have time to be here. Are you here? Oh, cool. Well, first of all, best of luck for the game today, because the game is going to be in 10 minutes. So I'm hoping that Messi scores some goals, and I hope you have a great game. But congratulations, Mariel. You've won the Nuke course. I hope you want the Nuke course. So yeah, congratulations. We'll do another one, don't worry. We'll do one last giveaway after the showreel review. Thank you so much. Yeah, so Yadav says, thank you so much for doing this. Something important than a World Cup. Well, I know, but people love to watch the World Cup. I should have really done the showreel. I should have done this review yesterday, because yesterday there was no games. But I'll be honest, I did not notice. Because I don't usually watch football, so I did not notice. But now I know. But yeah, congratulations, Mariel. So I'm gonna be in touch with you and also with Vinay as well in a couple of days. I'll give you all the logins and all the links and everything. So Mariel, congratulations for winning the course. We'll do one final giveaway after the next review. Okay, so let's get into the review. So I'm gonna just like copy. So let's see here. I'm gonna hook up here. So I'll have a link here. You can connect. Now this will be our last showreel review of the day. Just gonna like start the thing.
Recording in
And
progress.
Not gonna record. No need. I am already
Recording
recording.
stopped.
See if Dara is gonna show up here. We have Dara that's gonna join us just now. See where he is. Yeah, here he is. Let me just admit him. Okay. I think. Can you hear me?
Hey Hugo,
Recording in
yes.
progress.
Hey, man. So, do you have a webcam, or is it just going to be just sound?
Oh, actually I do. Sorry.
Only if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I just forgot to turn it on.
Do you mind having? Do you mind being on the camera? That's not a problem.
No, that's fine.
Cool. Well, everyone can see you now. So yeah, thank you so much for joining today. Much appreciated. So how are you doing? How's everything going?
Good, good. Everything is good.
You nervous about the game?
Not the game, no. Just a little nerve in front of people usually, but that'll be fine.
Yeah. So yeah. No, don't worry, man. You're all among friends. Everything is fine. We do these often. These reviews. We have a lovely audience. People are always so nice. So don't worry about it. It's gonna be fine. So yeah, and thank you so much for sticking around for the review. I'm assuming it's late there. What time is it now there? No, maybe I'm wrong here.
I'm in Brooklyn actually, so it's about
Oh.
2 p.m.
Sorry, I thought you were in Argentina. Sorry. No, sorry. No, not Argentina. Sorry. No, I'm confusing all the names now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm confusing all the names now. I've just confused the name because the last person that won was from Argentina. I'm so sorry. So yeah, that's right. So it's like what, middle of the afternoon then, I guess, or just after lunch, isn't it?
Exactly.
Cool,
2
man.
p.m.
Oh, this is really interesting. We had two people from Brooklyn today on the review. That's interesting. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about this on the behind the scenes on the Discord. So you actually you have a really interesting thing here because I that's why I really wanted to do the session with you, because you don't really necessarily have a show reel. You have quite a few shots, and you are kind of starting to think, how do you approach to get it together? Isn't that right?
Exactly. And I'm also having a hard time like choosing the ones that are good for my reel,
Yep.
Yeah, I'd like to get some eyes on it and see what you think and what everyone else thinks.
Cool, man. So first of all, only if you want to, of course, but if you are happy to do that, do you want to tell the audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what are your aspirations to gain out of this show reel? Like do you want to tell the audience a bit?
Yes, so my name is Dara. I've been working as a VFX artist since 2015 when I graduated. I've been doing only freelance work since then, and since 2020, basically, that's when my career kind of took off mostly. Before that, it was not as reliable, doing freelance work. But yeah, so I've been doing this for about 8 years. I took your course because I wanted to get out of After Effects. I was tired of all the, bugs and crashes and many headaches that, gave me.
Oh yeah, I know that very well. I also left After Effects as well behind. I used to be an After Effects artist as well before I moved on to Shake and then Nuke. I know that so well. It is like an application. It's a wonderful application, but sometimes it really, really does not help you. Sometimes it's a problematic application. Yeah.
So yeah, after taking your course, I've been I've been slowly transitioning from After Effects and things that I'm confident that I can do in Nuke. So yeah, now I'm mostly using Nuke. Certain things I'm still not, but yeah, mostly Nuke.
Yeah, that's nothing wrong with that. Like I also had the phase when I transitioned from After Effects to Shake. I had a phase like that where I was doing both at the same time, and then I was complementing each other, and I was like rendering out passes from After Effects into Shake, and then stuff I was doing in Shake, then I would move then. So often it would be like I would be doing the keying in Shake, and then I would bring it into After Effects, and then comp to the backgrounds, and I started doing the other way around. But the turning point for me personally was I was getting very complacent with that. I was like always using both, and I knew the future for my career was going to be using Nuke. And so the turning point for me was uninstalling After Effects completely from the machine. That's what I did. Like at some point, I had a few jobs to do, and I just, I'm going to uninstall it, remove all the plugins, remove everything from it, and then force myself to use the project on Nuke. And it was very beneficial. It was really hard, and it was really difficult for me to do that. I really hit my head against the wall quite a few times. But it really allowed me to remove my reliance on plugins that After Effects has. I started to kind of thinking and compositing in a different way and starting to build setups myself instead of relying on these plugins that After Effects has. So it was definitely my path was like that, and it worked well. I still use After Effects often, but I I think that definitely for what I do today, After Effects is not going to be good enough for what I do today, you know. So, but anyway, enough about me. So yeah, so like I said, it was really interesting what you had here. I'm gonna share it on the screen so that people see it. And I know that it's a bit delayed because you can't really see the same thing because it's like 30 seconds delayed or something on the stream. But you sent me 45 shots. You know, I downloaded them all. And it's really interesting, I think, for the audience because this is a process that often doesn't get talked about. A lot of people have shots, a lot of people have things, and then they don't know what to do them. Or they don't know, okay, how do I start? What do I pick? Which one I go for first? And I guess that's your conundrum right now, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
So I guess it doesn't really matter. This is on alphabetical order right now. You know, I guess it doesn't matter. And unless you want to start somewhere, do you want me to start on a specific shot, or should we just go from alphabetical order and have a look?
Yeah, I think we can just go alphabetical order.
Okay, cool. Cool. So I'm going to start with America Katsi. I think that's the name of it, which you have a bunch of shots. You have 10 shots for this project. No, sorry, 11 shots for this project. So why don't you tell the audience and me what's going on here? What is this project? What it is? Like, what kind of thing is it? Like tell us a little bit about this job while I scroll through the shots.
Sure. Amerikatsi is a feature film about an Armenian American man who goes back to Armenia during the war, so decades ago. And this project had about 130 VFX shots. I basically did it all on my own, but got some help in some of the shots, you know, from another freelancer.
You have very good work here. This is very good work. So is this like, so this is mainly, as I can see, compositing, cleanup. There's some matte painting. There's some keying here and there. Like so, and at the moment, what's your feeling about this? I guess you have so many shots, isn't it? That's the thing, isn't it? Where do you start? I guess, isn't it? It looks terrific, man. Very good work. Like this is looking great. Like I think the work is really top notch. Looking at these shots, so well done there. I'm gonna keep opening them up. I'm gonna. Sorry about that. This is I'm gonna just remove the sound because it's then. So is this from out already?
It's going right now. It's making its rounds through the festivals. But yeah, I got the permission to show these shots on stream today, but it's still not out where, you know, everyone can see.
Okay, I see. Oh, thank you so much for getting the permission to show it, and much appreciated. Is there a website or a page where people can go and find out more about this film when it comes out, or is it already
I mean, it's in IMDb. It's currently showing as released, but they still have not, you know, released it any streaming platforms or anything because it's still going around in festivals.
What's the name of the film? Sorry.
Amerikatsi.
Oh, so it's that word that was on. Okay, sorry.
What Armenians call, you know, American Armenians in Armenia, you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like okay, I see. So it's like an Armenian that moves to the United States. I guess that's what he means.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
I have never heard of this name. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
See people now. Yeah. So if anyone is interested on checking out this film, I'm going to like put the link on the chat here, and then you guys guys and girls can kind of check when this is gonna come over. That's cool. Well, congratulations. Already has a really good rating as well. So and it looks great. Looks really great. It's set on it's set on the Second World War. No, right after the Second World War, I can see. So stories starts in 1947. Okay, cool. So it's a historical film. Is it like based in real events or something?
It's kind of partly based on real events, but not really. No, it's basically fiction, but inspired by real events and the experience of the director himself to a certain extent, you know.
And how did you end up working on this job, may I ask? Like, is this like you were hired, you were working in a company, or how was this?
Well, I realized that most of the clients that I've found in the past years have been just previous clients, talking about me with their friends and coworkers. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just got the call. Someone recommended me. Yeah.
That's cool. And did you do this work remotely, or were you on a facility?
Remotely. It was actually shot in Armenia exactly at the time when COVID came out.
Ah.
So the shut down. Everyone was stuck in Armenia for 4 months. Not able to film. But yeah, I was in contact with them. Through phone in case they had some questions. But yeah, they didn't follow everything that I recommended in the end. So it made it a lot.
Well, the shots look great. Yeah, so everyone can go and support this film. It's always good to support other types of productions than just the types of films that everyone watches all the time. So it's really good. Okay, so let's open up the next one here. So yeah, these look great, man. These look really good. A lot of keying, a lot of roto, a lot of CG. So this CG is coming from, I guess, another member of the team, I guess, or
No, actually, I did everything, including the CG.
You did the CG as well. Oh my god, that's amazing. Okay, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Where was the CG done? What did you use?
In Maya, and there was some Megascans assets and some self model stuff.
Wow, it's very impressive work. Very impressive work. What did you use for rendering?
Arnold.
Arnold. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then you comped everything in Nuke, I guess, and
actually, this was mainly done before I take the course, so no, it's all done in After Effects, the compositing.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's very well done for After Effects. I mean, that's the thing. Like, After Effects is a really good application. It's just that sometimes it gets a bit messy when you're trying to do really complex stuff. But this is very good. What about this snow on this shot? Is that like real snow footage? Is it like stock, or is it CG?
So they had a little bit of snow, but the other snow that I added to the roofs and stuff, it's all painted in Photoshop, basically.
I see.
And yeah, I just used the levels to isolate the more bright areas and kind of get made them more white. It kind of gives it a more frozen kind of look.
Mm-hmm.
And the snow itself is some action VFX assets and some other assets.
This action VFX is all over the place now, like on all these shots. That's good. Like the previous showreel review was also with a lot of action VFX. That's cool. Now this looks terrific as well. And what about, like you said, it was Megascan, so you didn't model anything. You just like actually got the models, or did you end up modeling stuff as well? How was that?
No, there was certain things that I had to model, but there was also a lot of the small stuff were downloaded from the Megascans library. But for example, the wall I had to model and texture it myself because it was a certain type of wall that we see in other scenes, and I had to make a custom texture for that to match.
Of course.
And yeah.
Well, this is wonderful work. So the I guess the problem you're gonna have here, Dara, is that it's almost like this project itself is a showreel already. So and we have still 35 shots to go. So it's I can see your conundrum. You can see your issue with your showreel, and I can see that of course these 3 shots that I've now moved on to the next project, but don't worry, we'll go back to the other ones. Don't worry. So I can see that these are shots from the new course that you're taking with me. And again, like I said to the other students, thank you so much for buying the course and thank you so much for joining the course. I guess these are extremely difficult shots in cleanup. So well done. Like they look fantastic. They look really perfect and as good as they were when we delivered them at the mill. I think they look as good as that. So very well done. But I guess that as much as they are really well accomplished, I am much more interested on the other shots because the other shots are real production. It's a real film. It's something that you've done. Because the problem with these shots is that they look great, but they are not a production. They're from a course. So you should always focus. Because you have so much work, I don't think you should even bother to put these shots on the showreel unless you really feel like they should really be there. But I think you have so much work that you actually have too many shots. And so unless you want to, there is one thing that you could try. You could try multiple show reels depending on what you're trying to apply to. So I'll give an example. I've had friends that have done this. If you're applying for a position where they're mostly looking for someone doing a lot of prep and cleanup in roto, you could definitely build a show reel of just that. And then if you're applying to a position of straight mid-level compositing or senior level compositing, then you can do a show reel of just that as well. So there is a possibility here of you doing multiple show reels for sure. But we'll get back to that in a minute. Some people like Jacob on the chat is asking how much time did these shots take? I mean, that's such a hard question. I'm sure all of them were different, right?
Are we talking about the BBC D-Love shots?
This question was already here for a while. I think they were talking about the short film, the film, the American film, yeah.
The Americazzi, first of all, those POV shots that you showed in the beginning that are the guy, I mean, it's looking through a window towards the city. There was supposed to be about 4 or 5 shots throughout the film, but then it ended up being about 30 shots. Each of them were seasons, different conditions, different lighting. And I only had painted a single background. So I did a lot of tricks to, turn that single background into different seasons and, stuff. Probably the first one took about 5 days. But overall, for those 30 shots, I would say about 2 months, honestly.
2 months for the whole thing, yeah. I see. Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. There's a lot of shots here, so... Sorry. Now I'm opening shots in the background by mistake here, so I'm not gonna do that because they have sound as well. Okay, so let's move on to the next project that you have here, and then we'll go back. So you then have this called Dry Zara Men. This is a commercial that you've done. Is that what it is?
This is a short film / commercial for Zara Men. You can watch the whole thing on Vimeo. It's called Dry. It had 4 shots. They basically wanted to. The gist of the whole film is that like these people are going to the dryer to try to dry their clothes, but there's only one working dryer, and then they start fighting each other. And then the dryer basically comes out and walks away. So, and they wanted to just make they put a green screen there, as you can see, and they wanted to make the side of the dryer and the ground, beneath, because they couldn't actually do it, like remove a dryer. Then that is a prop, as you can imagine.
Yeah, the company didn't allow them to, because it was going to be too difficult to remove the dryer anyway, because it's going to be like, it's probably glued to the wall. They probably can't do that. Now, it makes sense. It makes sense that they would do that like that. It's a quite funny shot. Okay, cool. Well, once again, a really, really nice and established shot of cleanup and some extension there. It's really nice. Well done. Okay, you even have a commercial show reel and a film show reel almost, because that's often the case. Like that, some people are focused in commercials and some people are focused in film. I can kind of see that you're doing both here. I'm looking, for example, now at the second shot of the same music video where the guy is washing the hair, the face. And this shot is not as well accomplished. Like, you have some problems with the edges. You have a lot of white fringe edges. Rotoscoping is not well made on those hands when it goes into the water. So this shot is definitely probably the worst shot we've seen from you so far. I definitely would put a red label here and not use it on the reel at all. I think this would bring down anything you would have on your show reel. I would also say that maybe the brain shot also doesn't look as good as the rest you have. So I'm starting to just, as you notice, starting to remove things from your show reel. So these would be something that I would not use. And I don't think this music video is it's cool, it's nice, but maybe it's just that you have so much better stuff. So I think you can probably skip those. Yeah, and then let's go to the Land of the Dreams. It's called Transition Room. So tell me a little bit about what's going on here. See a lot of a lot of screen replacements, and so is this a film as well, or?
Yes, this is another feature film that's shot in 2020. This one was I was actually on set
Cool.
supervising
Cool.
Mexico. Um, but yeah, it also had about 120 shots. For example, the transcription room, all the screen graphics have not been done by me. It's only the tracking and the comping of it. But there was like an enormous amount of screen replacement.
Yeah, no, I bet. This looks terrific, by the way. Looks great. I mean, it's also a big plus that you were on set. Definitely something you should mention in your show reel and put it on this on the mention. Yeah, they look great. Also, super long shots. They're like a minute long. This is really a long shots. Like the first one is like 5 seconds, but then the second one is like 45 seconds long. That is
Yes.
a wow. That's a lot of work to track that.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is that there are some little things that I would definitely, would kind of think about when you later on, like if you do a shot like this again, just a little bit, be a little bit careful. Like you see on the shoulder of this girl that she on the second shot, she just sits down and puts her bag, and then there's like a little bit of the graphic from the screen behind her that is going above her a little bit, but it's only on
Yes.
the beginning of the shot. Then it goes away. So that's very small, that problem. It's only really at the start of the shot. It's very small as well. It's not a very big deal, but just keep in mind to be a bit more careful next time, because that is like something that if you would have watched this on a big screen, it might become an issue. Like if you're watching it on a big cinema, it might become an issue because then you notice it more. But again, man, I think that's the only thing really that I can notice. I think you did a fantastic job. So was this also After Effects that you were using, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you feel like, would you feel comfortable that would you be able to do this already now in Nuke already as it stands?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's cool, man. That's good. Because that's good to know. Because just like I told the other, like when I was talking with Eugene before on the other review that I did before you, it's very important for you to not fix too much on talking about softwares, because they might get the wrong idea. It's like if you start mentioning too much After Effects, they're just gonna not hire you, because they're like, oh, we don't use After Effects, we don't want. But if you feel like you're confident to do all of this in Nuke, then you don't even need to mention it on the show reel. You just need to say compositing. Then during the interview, of course, you can mention it and say, but you should definitely always end saying, yes, I did this in After Effects, but I am 100% confident I could definitely do this in Nuke now. So I think that's the point here, because I don't think it would look better. It won't, but it's just because they probably would prefer for you to use Nuke on things, in the future. So, okay, so same project, Land of the Dreams. It's called Legs. So this is grading, right? Or is it? What are you doing here?
This is basically they wanted to change the legs of the talent on the bed. They didn't know exactly what they wanted to change it to. So I basically scanned her legs while we were there, 3D scan her legs, so then I can, have a lot of flexibility later on with materials and stuff like that. But in the end, they basically just wanted to be blood red leg, so it was kind of like not necessary, I guess.
Yeah.
But this is a 3D leg that's been replaced with her actual.
But you don't have a breakdown though, so we don't see the original plate on any moment, do we?
The original plate is on the bottom.
Okay. Yeah. It's really hard for me to notice what exactly is the CG leg. I'm sorry, because isn't it just like a color correction that you've done to the legs, or did you actually replace the legs?
I actually replaced the legs with much more noticeably not real legs in 3D, but. Simplified, and then we reached this level where I could have done without 3D scanning.
Yeah, you could have probably just done it with grading and some roto, and I know what you mean. It definitely would definitely help to have a breakdown here, because it's really hard for you to notice what was done. But having said that, I actually think it's not that impressive as a shot. I think, again, you have so much more impressive stuff on your showreel. Sorry, not in your showreel, in your folder. So I would probably skip this shot. I don't think this shot is, remember, we have 45 shots, right? Your showreel needs to be like a minute and a half. You're probably only going to be able to put like 20 maybe on them. So you have to start skipping stuff anyway. But it's really well done. But let's move on to the next one. So I would, but again, take my advice and my opinion as just an opinion. Of course, you can do whatever you want, and it's I think because you have so much work, maybe I would advise you to maybe make a slightly longer showreel, because I think your work is good enough for that. Like if you have a lot of very good work, you definitely. I've seen showreels of very talented artists like yourself having showreels of 2 minutes, 2 minutes and a half. It's not a problem, because if the good work is there, you'll watch it. Like it's when the work is not good that you don't want to watch a long showreel. so I think don't be afraid of like making a 2 minute showreel or a 2 minute and a half. I don't think it's a big deal. Also, after a while, halfway through, if I was watching all this work, halfway through, I probably would even stop the showreel and not even look at, because I got the picture. Yeah, he's good. That's fine. Like I don't. At some point, you start to notice that, yeah, he knows what he's doing. I can kind of see what he's doing. So I think you have that into your advantage. And maybe if it's a bigger showreel, they might just scrub a bit. But I don't think that's bad. I think that's actually quite good for you. Okay, so. Okay, so now we have a shot called, it's still Land of the Dreams. It's the Census building. So tell us a little bit about this, like what's going on here?
So for this one, they basically just wanted to clean up everything that was around the building, and have a much more clean plate,
Yeah.
So that's basically what I did. It took quite a while to rotate these people to be able to. I mean, it looks pretty simple, but it took quite a bit of time.
Oh yeah, I bet, because they're so tiny as well, and their edges are so difficult to kind of grasp. Yeah, I bet it looks difficult, that's for sure. And also the amount of crap that is behind them. so yeah, it's very well done, man. And what about this extension? Is this CG or is this just matte painting and stuff like that?
This is all matte painting.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Photoshop or?
I did it in Photoshop, yes, and then pumped it in After Effects again. This was prior to my Nuke course, but now I can do this much more easily in Nuke.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean this in Nuke with projection systems, you can even do this with a moving camera almost. So yeah, this is flawless work. I don't know. I have nothing to say really. It looks great. I mean, in my personal opinion, it looks a bit too clean, but that's what they wanted. Like I feel like. Because you look at the building next to it, it's not that clean. But I've been on streets like this. I've been on streets where you see a really, really perfect building and then a really crappy building next to it. So I get it. I think that could be realistic. But yeah, very well done.
So,
very well done.
Thank you. It's a very surreal film, so it kind of goes with the rest of the theme of the film.
Yeah.
In general.
See some people on the chat here. Studio Div is saying that you just need a good edit and some music. I guess it's true. You have a lot of good work. I have not found, as you probably noticed, I haven't really found much to complain about on your showreel, because your work is really high quality. I think it's more the problem of what to pick, than anything else. So now we are on something called Beautiful Life. Tell us a little bit about this.
Sorry, let me find.
It's the guy blowing his brains out.
Blowing. Oh, that's another music video, Michael Kiwanuka.
Yeah.
They basically wanted to do some blood splatter and muzzle flash, and then I also had some splatter on the guy on the right, on his arms and stuff, just to make it a little more realistic, even though it's not that visible anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. They lost the trick here with when they shot, nothing with you, not blaming you at all. when they film this, the people are delayed on their scared too much, I think. Because think about this. If someone would blow their brains out in front of you with the flash of light of the gun plus the noise of the gun, there would be a huge immediate jump, especially from the dude in front, the one that is with his hand on his mouth. It's like he hardly moves. It's like, okay, that would not happen. These people would jump because the noise is so big, and we are in a closed environment. So they're missing an acting, like the director missed the thing here. But anyway, that's not your problem. Now, in terms of that shot, I think looking at your rest of your work, this shot is good, and I feel like together with the D-Love shot, these shots would be fantastic for a showreel. But again, because you have other better work, I feel like this shot is not good enough compared to the rest. And the reason for that mainly is the way you've comped this up. I feel like your little smoke thing that is in front of the gun looks a bit fake to me. And it looks a bit fake to me because it's almost moving with the gun as well. And then it kind of like looks a bit too opaque and not transparent enough. And the gun is not inside that smoke. You know, it feels like it's just attached on top. So that is immediately what I noticed on that side. Yes. This is a small thing, of course, because if anyone is watching this really fast, no one will ever notice that. The blood splatter, on the other hand, looks great. But I think, again, like I said, I think this shot is good, but you have better stuff. The only reason why you would put this shot maybe would be if you wanted to break up your showreel with different stuff. You know, so I'm going to put a yellow label on it because I'm kind of thinking, okay, if my showreel gets too boring, if my showreel has too many of the same kind of shots, maybe I can put this one on the middle to break it up a bit. So that would be my opinion, that this could be a good shot to break up so that you don't have always the same stuff on the showreel, you know, because then you start to have only matte painting, only roto and photo, and it becomes a bit too close. So that would be my opinion. So I'm going to put a yellow label on it, but a yellow label with a red, because if I don't have time, I wouldn't put it on the showreel. Okay, so next shot, we're halfway through, by the way. So I'm gonna try to see if I can go a bit faster. So let's see here. So now we have something called Omar Apollo Evergreen, which is this slow motion shot of debris explosion of a guy in the middle of an explosion. Tell us a bit about this.
That's
what is that?
This is also another music video for the artist Omar Apollo. So they basically, at the end of the music video, everything around him is crumbling down, and they had some special effects artists doing practical effects there to destroy everything, but obviously they could not have the talent there while they were doing that, you know. So they shot him in front of a green screen, and it's both shot with Phantom cameras.
Yeah.
And then they just wanted to add more debris in front of him, so I just used other parts of the shot that had, you know, good debris, rotoed them and brought them in front, and also just compositing to match the black levels and the, you know, just match them to the background.
Yeah. So I think this shot looks great at first glance. When you first see it, oh, this looks great. But if you start looking at it closely, you have a lot of bad edges on the key, like especially on the hands. I can clearly see a black edge around each hand. Don't really see a black edge on the head or on the body itself, but I clearly think that you could do a better job. Is this After Effects as well? Is this After Effects?
No, this one is new.
Yeah, I definitely.
This one is
new. Okay, I definitely think you need to do a better job with the keying, especially on the hands. I can still see a fringe black edge around the top of the fingers, and especially on the other hand. Kind of feels to me that, and it kind of is probably coming from the fact that it was shot against a very dark green. And I think you just need to brighten that up. You actually see it when you are going through your breakdown. You see that black edge really clearly on the breakdown, and then it never goes away. It always stays there, that black edge on the both hands. The rest of the body, you don't have that issue because the body itself is darker, so you don't see it. But it's on the hands that you have that issue. So I would say that as long as yes, it looks nice, but I'm going to put a red flag on it and not put it on the showreel because I think your keying is not good enough compared to the other shots. I think if you didn't have the other shots of the film, I would probably say, yeah, of course, put that shot. But because you have so many other good shots, I think you need to start removing what is not perfect, you know, because what's perfect should be there. What's, if there's a small issue, then maybe skip it. That's the thing, even if it's a small issue. So I'm going to go to the next one, which is called R0160 Breakdown. We can see like this punk person with two other girls on a bridge. So what is this all about?
Yes, so all of the ones that you see with the numbers, and that's one of the latest ones I worked, and it's all in Nuke. It's another feature film. It hasn't been released yet, so I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna say the name at the moment.
Okay.
But I got to show these. It's not gonna be like shown to that many people. But yeah, so this is basically they shot this somewhere in Mexico, hated the background, and they just wanted to, you know, change the background. One of the most challenging parts was, you know, some of the hair is like behind it. There's very bright light, and there's a huge amount of light wrap.
Yeah.
That as much as I could, you know.
Yeah, I see that.
But it's still not perfect.
Well, I'm not sure you will ever get it to work because the problem here, especially, I think you did a fantastic job taking into account the hair that we have here. Especially the biggest problem is the girl on the middle, because you see her locks of hair that is near the shoulder, they are behind what looks to me like bushes and trees behind. So there's no way you're going to separate that. Like, there's just no way. The only method, the only approach, if you really wanted to go deeper with that, would be for you to make up the hair, you know, by making hair, like using roto shapes and actually fake locks of hair on that place. That would be the only way. There's no way you're gonna extract that. There's just no way. Like I'm talking about the girl in the middle, the one that has the red jacket. It's impossible rotoscoping, impossible keying. On these situations, what I do is I invent stuff, and that's what I would do here. I would just like draw some lines with roto shapes, try to use the same color of the hair and paint in some highlights of the locks of hair, and then just track that in almost like a patch of hair. You can even go and paint that patch of hair on Photoshop if you want to, just to give a little bit more detail there. But again, I think this is not absolutely necessary. I think this already looks fantastic. I just feel, because especially when it has the haze on top and the grain on top, you can't really miss those locks of hair. You don't really notice it.
Yes, I think about that's a great advice.
Yeah, I think that happens to me a lot. When I can't key or roto something, I just draw it or paint it or patch it. And sometimes you're lucky enough to find hair from another shot or hair from another side of the plate, and then you can reuse it and patch it in. If you're lucky. If you're not lucky, you just have to draw something up. But this is very good work, and I think you did really well, and you did a really good match as well, which is incredibly difficult sometimes to match the depth of field feeling to it. And when I look at the original plate that was there from Mexico, you kind of nailed the depth of field and the sharp levels of the background. It kind of looks the same, looks like it was shot, and did a good job. That is really the only thing that I've actually really noticed was that lock of hair missing. But again, like I said, I don't think it's a big deal. It's looking great. I'm going to move on to the next one. So now we're going to go to shot 240. Same project, 240. Let's see here what's going on here.
This was one of the most difficult shots probably ever.
I bet. Can see why. Damn. Not only you have motion blur going on, you have like edges. Yeah, this is. So you basically replaced the front of that. Yeah, you had to roto the light. You had to like put a brand new Yeah, because oh, what is that? What was there? Oh, it's like some kind of sculpture or something. What was that? That was in front of the fountain shop. It's some kind of thing just hanging there on the park or something. That's really tricky. Okay, yeah, no, this is really well done. Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, it's really invisible, and I think, I mean, the only, I guess the only thing I would say, like, and this is just I think a bit of an opinion. I feel like the neon that says fountain, I think
Mm-hmm.
it could be a bit more overexposed. I feel like maybe you toned it down too much because when you look at the light just next to it, or even the light that was there before, it was a bit
Yeah.
stronger. So there's a moment on your breakdown where that light is stronger. I think that is the better part of that light. The light feels more realistic when it's overexposed because if we were shooting this, they would be exposing to the clown with the guy with the balloon. You know, they would be exposing to that person, and so that means the entire shot would really ramp up the ISO and the f-stop, and it would really be bright actually. And I think that those lights, the neons, and in fact you have other neon signs from the plate that are overexposed, but then the fountain is not overexposed. So I think for me personally, that is the only thing that I would do. I would overexpose that sign. But then again, sometimes clients request things to not be like that. So I'm not sure if they would go for that, you know, if they don't want it or if they don't want it to be overexposed or something. So
They want to be readable, but I see it still should have been a little bit more overexposed. It's still
yeah,
had room.
yeah. And I think the problem here is like if there wasn't anything next to it, then it would have been a problem. Like I think it's because you have the other neons that are from the plate that are overexposed. They're actually telling you that this is wrong. Because if you look at the original plate, like before you did all the cleanup, you see, which is here, everything is overexposed on the original plate. And so I think that's the giveaway. It's because they are there. It's almost like if you would have lowered the exposure of the other neon signs, then you probably would have gotten away with that neon sign. But yeah, but it's a very accomplished shot. I think it's great. Okay, so let's go to next one. Next one is shot 290. Let's see here. So you have a computer screen. Studio Diviz is asking actually. This is a good question. Studio Diviz on the chat is asking, what camera was this? Red or Alexa? What do you know? What camera it was?
RE Mini.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the whole thing was shot in RE Mini
Cool.
for this project.
And you were working on what? 2.7K or 4K? Or what was the res?
The original was 4K.
Okay, cool.
3840 by 2160.
Okay, cool. So, so this shot, I mean, it's a screen replacement. You've put the sticker back. You've accomplished the depth of field really well. Don't really have anything to say. It's a really simple shot, a really well-made shot, practically an invisible VFX. Very well made. You've managed to recreate the bouquet quite well as well. I think that's really nice. Matching the bouquets that is found on the keyboard. I think you've got the bouquet right. Maybe if anything, I would say that maybe the brighter dots on the monitor should actually be brighter on the bouquet, because if they're already so bright on the keyboard, maybe they would be slightly brighter, especially on where we have the fire thing that is on the screen. That is the brightest thing on the screen, and also some of these papers on the desktop are also the paper icons on the desktop are also brighter. I think they would bouquet brighter. So, and this is a matter of you. For example, if this was in Nuke, the ZD Focus node and the PG Bouquet node has an option to overexpose the core of the bouquet. That's an option that would work for the bouquet. And the reflections also would ping as well, because the reflections on the screen are quite bright, and I think they would also bouquet brighter as well. And the only reason I'm saying this is because the keyboard bouquets are already very bright, and that's a gray keyboard, you know. So that means the brighter things would even be brighter. But yeah, it's looking great.
Thank you.
Very good work. So, and then we have 890. So 890, we have like some dudes inside a bar, and then you've rotoed and comped a dude in front of a door.
Yes. So I'm gonna explain. They basically did this shot, but they didn't like how the actor was acting in the take that they liked. So I basically had to combine a few of the other shots to recreate the door with the new, acting, and then comp it in here, which was actually very difficult as well.
Yeah, I bet. It's very well. Yeah, this is so common. A lot of people don't know this, but I think majority of my time when I was at the mill was to comp in other performances from other plates. Like, we do this a lot in compositing, and a lot of people don't really. This is why whenever people come up on these streams, and sometimes they ask me on the Q&A saying, "Oh, compositing is dead now because of Unreal. Oh, no one is ever gonna use compositing now because we have the LED screens and they can just shoot it for real like the Mandalorian." What people don't realize is that this kind of shit is never going to go away, where they're going to merge multiple plates into one plate. And that is one of the most difficult tasks in compositing. And even on shots, I know this for a fact, even on shots of the Mandalorian where they shot it on the LED screen, they sometimes have to roto and paint and comp in other plates that were not there. So even on those situations, that happens. So I think compositing is, if anything, even more busy than ever because people don't make their minds up on set, or sometimes they don't have enough time on set and they just then fix it later because they know they can't afford to be on set for longer. But yeah, this shot is great. I think I don't really see any issue. Of course, it helps you that the actor would have been on the same environment, so it is easier, of course, because the lighting is going to match. Some of the most difficult compositing I've seen lately was, I don't know if you've seen, but this year, a new film called Everything Everywhere at Once.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a really good film. A lot of the shots where Michelle Hugh is inside the truck talking with her husband, she was not there on the bus. She was not inside the car because of COVID-19. They couldn't fly her to the LA. So they shot her on a green screen in Paris, and then they comped her into the car, and it's seamless. And it's like, I only knew that because they had a breakdown for it. I like, my God. And also there's another shot on the film where the daughter, I'm sorry I'm spoiling, but the daughter is talking to the mother for the first time. She reveals that she's the bad guy. And then behind her, Jamie Lee Curtis was supposed to be there, and then they changed their minds, and so they removed Jamie Lee Curtis from the entire take. It's like a minute long, the shot. So those are kind of some like amazing compositing things, that most people don't even know. But yeah, no, very, very well done, man.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's go to. I'm starting to think of a problem here. Like, I don't even know what to tell you. I think you have so many shots that I'm looking at all of this now because I'm looking live. I haven't seen this before. I'm looking at it now live with you. You have way too many shots, and I don't even really know if we're going to get into an answer of which ones you should use. I think this is going to take some time. I think I'm going to have to think about it and get back to you about this because I feel like I think half of these can't be on the reel, but it's going to take some time to kind of pick which ones. And we can continue this conversation offline as well. Like, you can continue talking to me on Discord, and we can continue talking to me because I think I might need to sleep on this. I might need to think a bit more about these shots and kind of like to try to give you like a better advice. But so far the work is really good. So yeah, so well done. Okay, so we're now looking at these two guys on the campfire, and then there's a bunch of rain that you comped in. So is this like real rain plates, or is it stock that you put in?
This one is also Action VFX. Yeah, but one problem with that is that if I was on set, I would definitely have them wet everything there. I couldn't make the wood or the ground look wet, so I tried my best. But
that's definitely something that we always do on set. We always wet up with a hose and just wet up the floor to pretend, and then if we know that there's going to be rain. at least they're wet. They look wet, at least on set. The people itself. I mean the faces, the specularity on them. At least that helps a bit.
Exactly.
But again, you know, this is well made and it's well done. But again, in light of the fact that you have so many other good shots, this might be not good enough to be on the reel. It's good, but it's just that you have other stuff that is better. So I'm going to put it on a yellow dot here because I think you do have better stuff. So 1490, we have 1490. We have a woman approaching a car near a prison, a CG prison that you've put on the background. So this shot, the CG is not completely well accomplished, and I feel like you still could do a bit better. And the fact, the main thing with this is that if you look at the original plate, with the field of corn, you see the amount of haze the shot has. You know, like there's a lot of haze, there's a lot of bounce, there's a lot of light because it's a sunny day. And then when you put in the prison, I kind of feel like we lost some of that haziness, like especially the building on the very back, and even the building on the middle, and also the chimney needs to be more hazed. You need to like introduce more blue haze into it so that it looks a bit more like there's more distance to it, because of the lack of haziness, the scale is looking a bit wrong, you know, because of that. Doesn't look like it's big enough, you know.
This one is actually also not CG. It's just stock photos.
Oh,
that
okay.
Yes.
Then it's all going to be a bit more tricky to do what I just said. But maybe, even if it's a photo, you could potentially do two things. If I was approaching this, there's two things I could do. One could be that I would build a fake Z-depth pass by using ramps and masks, and I would build a fake depth for this shot, and then I would use the depth, like I would use that as a mask for grading. That would be option maybe number one. Option number two is to just like color correct it with masks and just do it by hand. It can even be done in Photoshop. It doesn't necessarily need to be done in Nuke or in compositing. Can definitely be done with color correction for sure, you know. But I feel like I'm going to like put a red flag on this one because I don't think this is good enough for the rest of the shots that you have. Well, don't get me wrong. It looks fantastic. It's just that you have better stuff. That's the thing. So I don't think you have anything bad. All of your shots are good. It's just that you want to put the best of the best on the show reel. When you have so much choice, you're spoiled to choice, so you should put the best stuff. Okay, so this shot, she's inside a jail. It's a green screen shoot of you putting her inside a jail. So what's going on here? Is this jail a photo or is it a real location that you shot?
The jail is a photo. They shot her in front of a green screen, and also the lighting on her was not the type of lighting they wanted in the cell. So you know, you see that her head shouldn't be that bright, you know. But they really want a moody shot that the light is coming through the cell window, you know. But yeah,
this looks fantastic. I mean, I think you did a fantastic job. I think you will probably fool most people, like that this was shot with green screen. The only thing that gives it away a little bit is the source of light coming from the window. Like that, this is somehow it's not pinging bright enough. It's like a bit washed out or something. That is the only thing that is giving it away a little bit. And the other thing, if you start looking and looping, the other giveaway would be the bars on front. The bars in the front somehow look to me like they have no. They would look better if they had a rim light or a specular highlight facing them. Almost thinking, okay, maybe the other cell on the other side is bouncing some light, or maybe the corridor of the cells is bouncing some light. And I think it would look better if it had like a slight edge of light, a slight rim light. But I feel like it's those two giveaways for me. Like it's the giveaway of the light on the window and the bars. And then if you start really thinking about it, like I think you did a fantastic job with the keying, especially in the fact that she wasn't completely well filmed for this location. I think it's an afterthought that she was going to be on this location because she's shot with a lot of light for such a moody location. I think they should have shot it a bit darker. And so you're having that issue. You're having a bit of a problem where she doesn't completely look like she's there, you know, because she looks a little bit too bright to me, and she looks like, and there's really not much you can do about it. I mean, there's not much you can do about the fact that her shadows and lights directions are going to look like that. Because, you see, there's this light coming out of the window is not producing a rim light on her, for example, and which is a giveaway. Again, it's the thing, like, the more you look at this shot and the more you loop it, you start finding more and more problems. So I'm gonna say that maybe because of your other shots, I would not put this shot in, because I think because of the rim light, because of the disparity of the light with the, although you have a good job doing on the keying on the roto, only if you really need to use your roto skills or show your keying skills, then maybe I would put the shot. But for the moment, I think you have other shots that are better.
Okay, thank you.
So then we have 1610. 1610, the girl with the guitar going on the field. So, and then is this also the case as like the prison? Is this a photo as well of the buildings?
Yes, there is yeah, exactly. It's multiple photos.
Yeah. So this looks good. It does look good, but I feel like, well, first of all, if you scroll fast, it shakes. There's like a movement on the photo. I don't know why. So there's like a sliding happening. If you scroll really fast, you'll see that the photo is actually sliding on the plate. This could be, you don't notice it when you're just playing it back, but you notice it when you are scrolling, that there's like a bit of a shake. This could be that the plate, although it's on sticks, it's on a tripod, it might be the wind shaking the camera. So, and that's, I think, why. So you might need to look into that, and so that you track in that photo, maybe use some of the background for that. So I think that looking at the original plate, you can kind of see that this is a very bright day with sun, and I don't totally believe the exposure on that white on the water cylinder, the water I think that's a water thing, like to put the water, and then the rooftops of the building. I think the whites are a bit washed out, they're a bit overexposed, maybe perhaps you went a bit too far. So there's a bit of a disparity on black point and white point on this shot compared for the other shots. And so that, the exposure plus the jumps, I would definitely put a red flag and try to fix it or skip it, you know, because you have so much other work. Now this shot, I know I've seen this shot before. So did you end up managing to finish it then?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
On the problem, I don't know why, but first of all, as I told you before, I'm still very confused about the ASUS workflow in Nuke. So I was having this shot as an Alexa, but then I changed it to Cineon, and the overexposure was fixed.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, it's not.
So this is a common problem, and I think that the problem with these kind of things is that you need to, for this to be correct, you need to track down all the different things of color spaces that were involved here. So for this to fully work, you would have to track down exactly what color space they shot on set, exactly, see the metadata, then process that footage on DaVinci exactly with that color space so that it would be correctly linearized, and then when they come into Nuke, it's already linear. So if all those steps would be done, the whole thing would be matching. Back then, I remember we didn't get to the bottom of it. I think then I got busy, I couldn't help you, and I think you finished the shot anyway. It looks great anyway. But the fact that you fixed it with Cineon kind of makes a bit sense, because Cineon is close enough to an Alexa space. So it's probably not correct, but it looks fine, you know. That's the thing. it looks fine and it looks okay. And I think I think you did a good job. If anything, this is an incredibly difficult shot to put someone inside a reflection like that. If anything, I would just say that maybe perhaps the woman that you comped in, she's a little bit, and this is millimeter, okay? It's a little bit tiny too blue for the shot, and I think slightly off with the colors. She has a little bit too much blue haze compared to the rest of the people, especially when you look at the person on the left side sitting on the panel, sitting on the control deck. The black levels of this person are kind of neutral, and then the black levels of the person behind the one that you comped, if you look at the black levels, they slightly have a little bit of blue tint. That's what right. Gives away a little bit. But I think that's a really small little thing, and I definitely would put this shot on the show reel because this is so difficult, and it's such a good shot, and it is incredibly difficult to do something like what you did here. I know it's not as impressive as as a Spider-Man shot or as an explosion or as a space station, but this is so incredible hard to do, to comp someone else from a random ass green screen into a plate with a reflection layer on front. I mean, yeah, well done, because this is difficult.
Thank you.
This is really difficult. I definitely would put this on your show reel. It's one of your best shots. But it's the color match that it's slightly off, but it's not much. It's almost there.
I'll fix it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is this one I haven't seen. The next one is the same woman, but they are just on the bar. So is this a case? Oh yeah, so you've comped her as well. Yeah. So this one is better achieved, I think. It feels to me like, it depends on the opinion. If you look really closely, you can kind of see that it's really hard because the bar has so many lightings. So the person on the left side, you can kind of see that she's a little bit darker and she has all those green bounces of light. But then the person on the middle that you comped in, she's a lot brighter. But I could believe that because the bar might have a spotlight on her. You don't know. Those are the kind of things that you'll never know. So I think you did a good job. But it's really hard to tell without being there on set if this is actually the correct light that should be on her. Because she kind of looks like she has the wrong direction of lighting. But then again, does she? Because maybe there's a spot there. It's really tricky to check. Like it's almost like, okay, is the wrong light? Because it should maybe come from the left side, the light, and not the right side. But then who knows? Maybe there's like another lamp next to her that is off camera. So I think it's well done. I think you did a good job. But it's very tricky to know those things. Because there could be spotlights, and in fact, when she turns around, she has a lot of highlights on her glass. So I kind of believe that there's lights there. So it's these are the kind of shots that it's not as good as the other one, but it's still very good. Okay, so 3471, again comping her into the crowd. This one is not as well accomplished as the other ones, and the reason for that is because I feel like the other people have the right, because now we actually see the environment. The problem we have now is all the light is coming mostly from the left side, hitting the faces of the people from the left side, and that is not happening on the person you've comped in. So even the dude next to her has light coming from the left, and she doesn't have that. And even of course, the people that are on the same Z space as her, which is this dude on the left with the bright shirt, and then we have the other two dudes on the right side that are near the bar. They also have the light coming from the left, and she still has the light coming from the right. So that's a giveaway. On this situation, this is wrong lighting direction. So that's this shot is a problem. I'm going to put a red flag because I don't think this shot would make it for the reel. And I don't even know you can fix this, because the problem here is that how would you fix it? Unless you mirror her, but if you mirror her, you're going to have an issue because her face is going to look different because if you mirror a person, they look different. So I don't think you can fix this. This should have been shot differently on set. I'm not entirely sure you can really fix it. Because you see, when I look at the plate that they shot on green screen, it's just the wrong direction. That lamp that is in front of her should have been on the other side, you know?
Yes.
So, I mean, never say never. I've seen shots like this being fixed on really big productions. So if you have a budget like a Marvel movie, they would literally CG the person and then it would be fine. So that happens all the time. That's why on big productions, they always scan everyone. They do a full scan of everyone on set in 3D in case they need to do things like this, you know. So yeah. Okay, so I've flagged that. And last one, but not least for this project, is 3500. Now, this one, again, the lighting looks wrong, but you can get away with it now. You get away with it because you are close. Because you're close, again, I can believe that maybe there's spots above her. You know, I can believe that. So I think this one you can get away with it. Although now that I've seen the wide shot, I know this is wrong. Because on the wide shot, we see the same. So yeah.
The color of the light is very different on the green screen shots.
Yeah.
Than the plate, you know.
Oh, absolutely. No, but I think you did a stellar job. I think that, I mean, the only solution here for the mirror would be if you would mirror all the shots and then she would look the same on all shots. But then you have the problem when she's sitting in the studio. Because if you mirror that one, then it won't work. And when you mirror someone's face, they look different. So it's this is tricky, man. I don't know. I'm gonna have to come back to you about this. Okay, so we have two more. Man, this has been a long review. I'm so sorry for everyone watching. This is taking a long time, and I know I still need to. I promised to do another giveaway, but this is we're almost done. We're already 4 hours long on this reel. Not reel. Sorry, 4 hours long on this stream. So we're gonna just, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna go a bit quicker now. So we have the Ralph Lauren, which is a commercial, I guess. You have 3 shots for it. I'm gonna open all 3 shots, and then maybe you can tell me what's going on here. What kind of project is this?
Well, this is for Ralph Lauren commercial. It's basically they wanted, I don't know, Gigi Hadid is like the supermodel that they wanted to be multiple of her in the, you know, that they meet each other in this Ralph Lauren club, you know. Yeah. So 2 of them are basically adding rain to the beginning of the shot when she's entering the building, and the other one is one with a motion control camera. For this shot, for this project, I was actually on set, and the other one they wanted her to, like, you know, look at herself and then go around. You know what I mean? I'm not sure which one you're looking at the moment.
I'm opening all 3 of them now. I have all 3 of them open right now playing. But I need to, like, remove all the other shots that are behind because they're really like, okay, now we have a darker thing. So I'm looking at all 3. I have all 3 open looping right now. So, oh yeah, I see. So it's always the same actress. Okay, I see now what you mean. So you have to comp her in on all of them, and you have to roto. I mean, the good thing about it is the first shot, the one called Cry. You have a Cry, a mirror, and a Motrack shot. So the Cry one, of course, it's a bit easier because it's a static shot. Really, it doesn't really move much. So well done there. I think, you know, it looks great. The cool thing about these shots is that these are so different from all the other things you've done on your showreel. I definitely think you should put at least one of them on your showreel because they are just different type of work. And it will show them that you have a different skill set as well. So I think the Cry one looks good. I don't really see any issues. I'm more interested about the moving ones. The reason because they're more difficult, you know. So I feel like the Motrack shot is a much more impressive shot. I know it's motion control, but it's more impressive because it just looks more impressive. You know what I mean? Like, it, even though it's easier because it's motion control, it just looks more impressive to someone watching. So I think if I was you, I would probably use the Motrack shot and maybe the one with the logos, the one called Cry, maybe skip the mirror one because you don't need all three. You know, like I don't think you need all three. I think two of them or even just one would be enough. Like I don't think you need all of them to explain what's going on. Okay, so now we're gonna go into something called TBT gunshot, and we have 5 of them. So tell us a little bit about this. The TBT, is that a film as well, or?
Yes. No, it's actually the pilot of a TV show that is not out yet.
Okay.
It is basically there was a gun sequence where they wanted to have muzzle flashes and also blood and blood splatter and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, so I think these look good, but I do think that you don't need all of them because, again, you have too many shots. So I think from all of them, I would skip the car gunshot too because that's really simple. It's just a car and you see the splatter on the window. It looks good again, but again, remember you have so much shots. I feel like from all of them, the most impressive one definitely is 5 because that's where the body is there with all the splatters and the blood coming out. That's the most impressive shot. It's the most accomplished one. It's the nicer one as well aesthetically. So 5 is really good. I think maybe you should just have 1 and 5 because then you have the gun shooting and then you see the body and that's it. You don't need to show the rest. Again, I'm just like doing this because I think all of them are good, but you have so much work that it's almost like you kind of have to skip something. So I would definitely skip 2 and 3 because they're not as good. They're really good, but they're not as good. And just put 1 and 5. And then last but not least, look at that. We got to the end. We got to the end. It's called Treatment Fire. And tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
This is also a short film. It hasn't come out yet either. And they just wanted to set this house on fire, honestly.
Why not? Because we love setting things on fire.
So I was in touch with the director, and he was asking me what to do. So the only thing I told them, because I didn't know where it was being shot at, was to make sure to get the house and also get ones with lights inside being on.
Yeah.
You know, and ones with lights on the ground outside the house a little bit, so you know we have more flexibility as to what we can do. You know.
Of course.
And this is all from Action VFX stock footage.
This shot is sponsored by Action VFX. No, I think this is amazing work. This is very rare. Even I hope they don't mind me saying this, but even Action VFX tutorial about how to put fire on a house fails to do it in a way that you've done here, because you've done a very convincing light interaction. Most of the tutorials you see on YouTube of people putting houses on fire, they have that problem. They don't have the light interaction. And the reason they don't have the light interaction is because often they just use a plate of a house with no lights inside, with no lights whatsoever. And then they can't invent lights because they're not there. So it's really good that you've told them to shoot it like that because it really helped your shot. It made it so much better and so much easier. Like, I think this is really accomplished. I would be hard for anyone to think that this was not shot for real because it looks real. Like, I feel like, you know, this should definitely be on your showreel. Not only because it shows that you have very good attention to detail for exposure and lighting, but also it shows a different skill set altogether, which is merging a bunch of stock footage, and it's a different skill set from the other keying and roto and cleanup that you have. You know, it's just a different skill set. So yeah, this definitely should go. Should be on the showreel. That's what I mean.
One thing,
yeah,
suggesting VFX was to make some stock footage of smoke coming out of things like windows, because when you look at real footage, you know, there's a lot of billowing smoke coming. It's very different. So they didn't have anything that was convincingly like photorealistic. Yeah. But I tried to make the smoke they had work.
Yeah.
You know?
Of course. No, I think it's lovely. Well, I mean, this is way long now. I wasn't expecting us to be here for so long, but again, I I feel this is a really good exercise for most people to watch, because it's not very common that we talk about how to pick shots and how to handle so many shots when we have too many. I feel like this is a really good exercise. I've never done this before. I've done hundreds of showreel reviews, and we've never had a moment where we've talked about what shots we pick, what we don't pick, what we don't want. It's interesting to go through this, with you. I don't think I have a definitely answer. I feel like we can continue this conversation offline on Discord, because I really want to wrap up the stream, because it's been 4 hours. It's way too long, and we need to wrap up, and I need to do the giveaway. But I definitely think we've established at least a few things. We already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have at least 11, 12 shots that I think you don't need to put. So from the 45, 12 already gone. So that's already good. You already have less. You already have, instead of having 45 to pick from, you now have 43 to pick one from. You still have too much. You still have to, and I think my advice to you would be to try to pick the shots so that they don't repeat themselves. So for example, from America's sorry, how do you say it? Americazzi, okay. From that project, for example, I feel like you don't need so many shots the same, because you have the first shot with the prison, and there's the buildings outside. That's already a really beautiful shot. Maybe you don't need the second one, because the second one is very similar, So maybe pick one of them, because there's no way you need both of them, I don't really know which one you should pick. I'm going to just randomly pick the first one. Why not? The same goes for box 13 and box 15. I mean, box 13, which is the boy with the eyes closing, that's a nice shot. But maybe the other one is better, because it's a better shot from statical point of view. So I think for you, what you need to do, Dara, here is pick the best that you like. Because you have so many, I almost feel like you can pick, if you have 2 shots of the kid, pick one of them, pick the one you like the most. If you have 2 shots of the window, pick the one that you like the most, and just have one. So you can start narrowing this down to maybe 20 shots or 25 shots, but don't be afraid of doing a 2-minute showreel. I think you have enough good work for this. And I definitely think, I'll be honest, man, I really hope no one gets upset by me saying this. I think this is some of the best work I've reviewed on my channel. I've done hundreds of showreel reviews, and I think this is some of the best work I've been shown, not just for the quality of it. I think your quality is excellent, but also the amount of it. You have so much work. So well done. I definitely think this, if I had a prize, this would be the best showreel that I've reviewed so far, from all of the showreel reviews that I've done so far. So well done with that. And yeah, that would be what I would say,
Okay, perfect. And one question, which one would you rather put in the very beginning?
Oh man, I don't know. I think I would say that perhaps the best work you have is, it's hard to say. I'm really conflicted between the Maricasti film. I'm conflicted between that film, because I think it's definitely some of your best work, but also I don't know, it's hard to tell, man. It's also really good with the woman inside the. Yeah, definitely start with that film. I think you should start with that. I think that film is your best work. If I start thinking about all of it in one go, I definitely think that's your best work. I feel like it's your best work. But if I start scrolling through this really quickly, they're just the best job. This shot inside the couple inside the car looks great. The earthquake shot, the shot with the fire and the smoke behind looks great as well. The cell shots, and also not to mention the snow shot looks fantastic. Maybe that's the best shot. Maybe that's the first shot, the one with the snow. Not to mention you've actually made the CG as well. That's even better. Yeah, let's nominate shot R068 as the best shot. which is the one with the prison and the snow, because I think you've done the CG. It looks beautiful, and that could be a great way to start this project. And because you have so many projects, maybe think about doing all the shots of this project in a row and then go to the next project.
Okay.
I definitely think you should start with this one. But the funny thing is, because you have so much work, it's almost like if you ask me this tomorrow, I might give you another opinion because there's so much good work here. So I feel like yeah, please ask me more questions. I'm very happy to continue this conversation with you on Discord later on, offline, tomorrow, later in the next few weeks. Very happy
Amazing.
to give you more opinion about this. You were so kind, giving so much time, and actually you even reached out to get permission to get the plates to be shown on the showreel. I'm in doubt. I'm really in debt with you. And also, you have bought my course. You are my student. I'm very happy to help you as much as you can. You don't worry. Bother me on Discord. We can talk more about this. I definitely think you have enough material to make an outstanding showreel, but you just have too much. So, and if you need me to, later on, offline, if you need me to actually tell you which ones specifically I said no to, I can give you the list. I can do a screen grab with all the little labels that I've made, so you don't have to watch the entire stream again. The stream will be available as well. It won't be available today right away because I have to put chapters, but tomorrow it will be online on YouTube. Well, I mean, if you watch the same link, you still can watch it because it won't be offline. It will just be unlisted. But I won't put it public yet because I want to put chapters. And I also want to remove a section. There was a section on the first showreel review we did. I have a huge 5-minute long part that we had a technical problem. I'm just going to remove that because it's too boring for people to be listening to that. So yeah, so let's continue this conversation offline. And I wish you the best of luck, and please bother me. Just talk to me. You're one of my students. I'm always here for my students. All my students know that. So just keep going. Keep going strong because you have some amazing work.
Yeah, thank you very much, Hugo. And I wanted also to say that your course has been absolutely amazing. One of the best courses I've ever taken online, or even in the university. I felt like university was not as fruitful as your course has been, in such a short amount of time. So
I'm so great. I'm so thankful for you saying that. I'm thank you so much for your kind words. I much appreciate your words. I'm delighted to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that. And there's a lot more coming, like I have a lot of classes that I'm recording with Nuke 14 now, and I'm recording some more workshops. We have a lot more coming. It's just that we're still doing it, and I'm busy with work as well, but I'm trying to do it as fast as I can. But thank you so much for saying that. Much appreciated.
And thank you. I guess up off.
Yeah. We'll talk later. Thank you so much. Everyone loved your shots as well. You can see on the chat, everyone is like over the moon with your work. So congratulations, my friend. And we'll keep in touch. We'll keep talking on Discord, and I'll see you later, man.
Yeah, see you later. Thank you very much, everyone.
See you later.
Bye.
Okay, cool. So I guess we're gonna wrap up the stream. I kind of apologize for this to be so long. I didn't mean for it to be so long. Didn't mean for it to be 4 hours and 15. Let's just do the last giveaway so that we can wrap up the stream. And we'll continue. Remember to always thank BenQ for all of this, because without BenQ we wouldn't have done this stream. We wouldn't be where we are now. And I personally can't thank them enough, and I really would like to thank Vincento for all the support and all the help that he's giving me during this time. And so thank you so much, BenQ, for all of it. Let's do the last giveaway. Remember that we're gonna come back. Don't worry. If I haven't done your showreel today, we're gonna do your showreel. Don't worry. I have 40 to go through. We're gonna do this twice a month from January. We might not have another stream before Christmas. I'm not sure. Maybe we will. Maybe not. I don't think we will. Just keep an eye on my social media. I'll let you know if I'm gonna do a stream. So let's and thank you so much for all of you to be here. It was a wonderful stream. I feel like we've learned a lot. Can't wait for people to watch it later. And it's for those of you that want to watch it again, remember it's going to be available on YouTube. You can rewatch it. It's still available on the same link that you've seen. I am going to put chapters on it so people can easily scrub through it. And yeah, you can always watch it, and I'm going to be here. Okay, so I have another winner. So the last winner, this is going to be the last one. The last winner of my Nuke course is... So I hope I don't mispronounce your name. It's from India again. So we have 2 winners from India and 1 from Argentina. So the last winner is Haswin Hamdas. Haswin Hamdas. I think that's how you pronounce your name. I hope you're here. If you're not here, I can understand that you're not here. Because it's been 4 hours. I hope you're still here, but it's going to be very late in India. Yeah, I hope you're still here. If you're here, you've won the course. If you're not here, I was only supposed to do 2 giveaways anyway today. So this was an extra giveaway that I made up while we were doing it. If you're not here, it's not a problem. I can understand it because it's right now... It's 2 o'clock in the morning in India, so I don't expect you to be here. But you've won anyway. Don't worry. I'll contact you. You've won anyway, even if you're not here. I don't want to take that away from you. I wasn't supposed to do a 3rd giveaway anyway, so this is an extra. It's 2 in the morning, and so I can't apologize enough, and I can't thank you enough for being here. Okay, so that's it for me today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, BenQ, for supporting the stream. I'll see you all later. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next stream. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.